injuries. The backup followed an earlier deadly motorcycle crash on 41 near Ridgefield. Investigators say a 57-year-old man died at the scene. Southbound 41 near Slinger is expected to remain closed until about 2:30 this afternoon.
A chaotic ending to the Wisconsin State Fair. Multiple fights broke out near the rides.
All right, we're moving in with the horses. Large fight.
Scanner audio from Broadcastify and video on social media shows a large number of West Allis police responding to the Spin City area on the fairgrounds last night. Multiple fights broke out, officers chasing after people as they tried to clear the area. Dispatch audio also indicates one officer was apparently punched in the face during the incident. Police have not said whether anyone else was injured or whether any arrests were made. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
The 60-day memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran expires without the two sides coming to a permanent peace agreement. More from News Nation's Robert Sherman.
The president even telling reporters that they have back channels that are open and active with Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. But of course, when it comes to the possibility of diplomacy prevailing, that all remains to be seen, though we know that mediators are hoping it comes to that. This memorandum of understanding has largely been viewed publicly as being voided by both sides, with Iran saying that the U.S. naval blockade that's still active is a violation. The U.S. says Iran carrying out attacks on ships going through the Strait of Hormuz is a violation.
Currently, there are no official plans for the U.S. and Iran to resume those peace talks.
Opening statements are underway in Vegas for the murder trial of hip-hop artist Tupac Shakur. This is a trial almost 30 years in the making. At the heart of it, Dwayne Davis, who used to be a gang leader and at one point was granted immunity in the case. ABC's Alex Stone explains the delay.
One is that they couldn't use a lot of what Dwayne Davis was saying because he had this immunity deal until they figured out a way where they say that the immunity deal no longer covered him. So he was talking to police at a task force in L.A. He was talking to police here in Las Vegas, helping them out on this case as being a party who was in the Cadillac that night, allegedly. He said he was. And that they weren't able to go after him, and everybody else in the Cadillac is dead. Everybody else who was involved. So now they're able to go after him and get that indictment.
Davis was arrested in 2023 in Las Vegas. He's been in police custody since.
Consumer experts are warning about a scam for unclaimed life insurance money. Michelle Reinen with the Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection says fake letters in the mail may appear to come from a law firm or an attorney. Telling Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News.
The letter goes on to explain that they want to split the proceeds between the consumer, some charity organizations, and their law firm. The insurance policy does not really exist, and it might sound very convincing with the firm supposedly trying to contact family members and finding those close relatives to inherit the fortune.
Signs that a letter is fake include minor typos and a law firm name that cannot be verified or traced. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Sluggish start to the week here with the Dow off about 200 points at 53,518. NASDAQ down about 25 points this afternoon at 26,705. And the S&P down about 20 at 7767. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Craft is back. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
Have you ever looked in the mirror and just didn't feel like yourself anymore? Maybe your clothes don't fit the way they used to, or you don't like how you look in them. It's more than that. It's how you feel walking into a room, avoiding photos, or not feeling as confident as you used to be. Over time, that can wear on you. But here's the truth. Losing weight is one thing. Feeling confident again and keeping the weight off, that's what really matters. At Milwaukee Weight Loss, they help people lose 20 to 40 pounds naturally in about 60 days. Without injections, crazy workouts, or prepackaged meals. More importantly, they show you how to keep the weight off so you can feel comfortable in your clothes, confident going out, and actually like what you see in the mirror again. Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scavidi, and I started Milwaukee Weight Loss last year. I don't just feel lighter, I feel more confident. I've dropped a couple waist sizes, actually 4 inches. I've got more energy, and I just feel better about myself. It's time, right now. $200 off now through August 31st. Do not wait. Schedule your free consultation now at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Never a better time to feel better about what you look like and how you feel. Results may vary.
Step right up and see the magnificent Beck sofa at Penny Mustard.
What's with the circus getup?
Ever seen a clown car?
With clowns that keep climbing out one after another?
Exactly. The Beck sofa is Penny Mustard's clown car.
How so?
The Beck's appears to be a petite, apartment-sized sofa.
Yeah.
But it can hold contortionists, lion tamers, and the ringmaster, too.
Step right up and see the Beck sofa, starting at $19.77 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Amore, pepperoni, amore, mozzarella, amore. Screaming Sicilian,
Screaming Sicilian frozen pizza. More toppings, more flavor. More is amore.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Welcome back, Tucker Kraft. The Packers tight end returns to 11-on-11 work roughly 10 months after tearing his ACL in his right knee.
Now that I've gotten back to team reps, as I continue to accumulate reps, I hope I can continue to rise my game as well, take myself, to new heights rather than just return to pre-injury.
Kraft is trending towards suiting up for week 1 of the regular season against the Vikings. The Packers continue the preseason Friday in Denver against the Broncos. Brewers begin the day with a 5-game lead over the Cubs for first place in the NL Central after taking 3 of 4 against the Dodgers.
A little momentum, and after obviously getting swept in San Diego, I think this was huge for us.
That starting pitcher Logan Henderson, who earned the win on Sunday. It's possible outfielder Sal Frelick comes off the injured list before Tuesday's game against the Seattle Mariners.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. We are doing a little bit better than we were this morning. Certainly a rough morning to start the week here. I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard. That's a very busy spot. Left shoulder is blocked right now due to a crash. That popped up a little bit before noon. So heads up there. Also still dealing with this. I-41 South is closed from County K to beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 60 because of that crash earlier this morning.
Beautiful day today. Plenty of sunshine at a high of 80 degrees. Partly cloudy in the morning on Tuesday. Some scattered thunderstorms possible in the afternoon with a high of 83. A little more humid and muggy on Tuesday. Wednesday, comfortable temperatures, partly cloudy and a high of 78. Similar situation on Thursday with a high of 79. It's 74 degrees in Milwaukee at 12:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Caffeinated and ready, it's Wisconsin's Midday News. We are back in our familiar surroundings following a run at the State Fair, back in our studios in the 3rd Street Market Hall. Hope you had a great weekend, did you?
Had a lovely weekend. It's a little bit easier to get into work here than making sure you don't take any left-hand turns going to State Fair Park.
That is true. It's less muddy as well.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
There is growing scrutiny nationwide over Flock Safety's network of license plate reading cameras. Over the weekend, an anti-Flock protest in Fargo, North Dakota turned physical. And in Hood County, Texas, officials shut down and covered their Flock cameras over the weekend amid concerns about privacy and mass surveillance. Here in our area, 2 members of the Milwaukee Police Department have been charged with misusing the Flock system. Now Flock itself is rolling out new safeguards. The Milwaukee Police Department is reviewing those changes now, but has already created a new audit to identify potentially suspicious searches. The Milwaukee Police Department's risk manager helped develop that audit. He'll join us live at 2:15 to explain what's changed and whether more needs to be done.
An investigation underway in South Carolina in the shocking death of Hollywood star actress Hayden Panettiere. Overnight, police in Greenville responded to a call regarding an unresponsive female later identified as Panettiere. She stole the show in the movie Remember the Titans before going on to star in the TV show Heroes and later Nashville. Panettiere had a child in 2016. She opened up about her struggles with postpartum depression and what it led to.
That's why I turned to substances, because the anxiety that I started having the panic attacks that I started having.
In 2018, she gave up custody of that child to her now ex-husband. She passes away at the age of 36. Officials are not suspecting foul play.
A lot of people shocked by that one. Well, a gloomy inflation outlook and the uncertain future of Social Security have about half of all American adults doubting they'll ever be able to retire completely. ABC's Jim Ryan has the results of new polling.
An Ipsos survey conducted in June for financial services company Thrivent does find that 58% of working adults believe they will be able to step away from their primary careers on schedule. But that doesn't mean they'll stop working. 47% of respondents say they expect to need to earn extra income even after retirement.
There's a little kink in that plan, though. 29% of people who have already retired say artificial intelligence is making those part-time jobs harder to find.
It is 12:11 on WTMJ. We talk jobs, we talk population trends in Metro Milwaukee with MMAC Senior Advisor Tim Sheehy after this.
25 years ago, a generational Bucks team made an unforgettable run.
This is the place to be.
Write It Up, narrated by Jim Paschke, is the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. This is the oral history of the 2000-2001 Milwaukee Bucks and their run to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Absolute bedlam here at the Bradley Center.
Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts.
All the folks at Gruber Law Offices know if you've been hurt in an accident, it can really flip your world upside down. They take care of the legal aspect. You focus on healing. It's how Gruber does business. Simply make a phone call to Gruber at 414-276-6666. Connect with this local firm with national power. That's right. It's Gruber. Been serving the state of Wisconsin for 40 years, also giving back to the community as one of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest, wrapping up their time at the state fair with a proud sponsorship of the Milk House year after year. That's Gruber in a nutshell, supporting community initiatives and supporting you as you focus on healing while the legal battle plays out. Visit them online at gruber-law.com. Learn more about the firm and what they do in the community. It's Gruber Law Offices.
Summer is the time to enjoy the outside. Enjoy the deck, the patio, the fire pit, the shade, the screen room, the in-ground pool. Enjoy all of it in your own backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck with a custom screen room and automated pergola. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
You know who forms the #1 bank in Wisconsin? Horicon Bank. Hello, I'm Eric Weissman. Thank you to our customers for helping Horicon Bank earn this recognition. From everyday banking, mortgage lending, trust administration, 55 or better Gliders Club, and My Money for Kids, Horicon Bank has solutions for every stage of life. And let's not forget about our incredible business banking team. I personally invite you to learn more about Horicon Bank at horiconbank.com or stop by one of our branches today.
Horicon Bank MLS 434805, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Beautiful day today. Humidity is down. Partly cloudy skies, a high of 80 degrees. Some rain moves in on Tuesday. Should be partly cloudy in the morning. Scattered thunderstorms are possible in the afternoon, high 83. Wednesday, no rain to the forecast. Partly cloudy skies, a high of 78. Similar situation on Thursday, a high of 79. Back into the low 80s to round out the week. It's 74 right now and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:14. And our weekly economic spotlight is sponsored by Horicon Bank. Together doing good. It's horiconbank.com. Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice, and member FDIC. We welcome in, as we do every Monday, MMAC Senior Advisor. It's Tim Sheehy. Hi, Tim.
Hey, Greg. Hey, Jessica. Happy Monday.
Yeah. Great to have you with us, as always. I wanted to share and get some insight from you on some recent studies here. We pay attention to this every year. It's a couple of population insights. My personal favorite is the U-Haul Migration Trend Report. It comes out every year. It's kind of fun to go through. It gives you an idea where people are packing up and moving to. Bank of America Institute has another similar report. It's also popular. The results of these reports, what does it say about how Metro Milwaukee fares when people are looking to relocate?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. And, you know, as we've talked about this, kind of growing our workforce population is critical to the prosperity of the community and in our economy. What Wisconsin has going for it actually is that 71% of the people that were born here are in Wisconsin, and that's way above the national average of about 41%. So we kind of keep our homegrown to a great extent. The challenge is people migrating out, leaving Wisconsin or leaving Metro Milwaukee. And, interestingly enough, the three states that we exchange population with the most are Illinois and Minnesota, which I understand the proximity, and then this one threw me for a bit, Texas. So in that exchange, we gain about 10,000 people a year from Illinois. We gain about 2,800 people from Minnesota. We lose in the exchange to Texas, and then if you look at kind of the older population to Florida and Arizona. So it's some of it makes sense to me. The Texas thing is a little different.
Yeah, that is a little bit different. I will say I'm one of those people who left Wisconsin, traveled around the country for work for about 10 years, and then I chose to come back. And I always like to tell my story to people, too, because I remember thinking when I came back that it was great to see how far Milwaukee, especially downtown Milwaukee, had come, and I couldn't wait to see it in the next 10 years. And now I've been here to say it has grown so much, and for the better, without a doubt. But I wonder, Tim, Wisconsin employers, they continue to talk about workforce shortages, and we've talked about that here with you on this segment. At what point does population stagnation start limiting economic growth?
Well, it's honest right now. Wisconsin has about 3 million people of working age population, roughly 25 to 64. That also makes up about 50% of the state's population. When we project ahead 10 years, which is easy to do because we can see the births, Wisconsin's going to lose about 200,000 people out of that 3 million workforce population. After 10 years, it kind of flattens out and we stay at that lower level. So it's a big concern in terms of being able to retain more and recruit more people. If the economy is going to grow with 200,000 fewer working age population, that's going to be a big challenge for us. And it's not just getting more people in here, because we have a very high participation rate in that working age population, much higher than the national average. So we're going to need to, again, attract more people and keep more people here. One of the things that's kind of working against us a little bit is, without getting into the national politics around immigration, as we lose more people kind of transitioning out of Wisconsin to other states from a domestic perspective, we're a net positive in terms of international migration into Wisconsin. So what happens with immigration on a national basis is also going to affect Wisconsin's ability to have a functioning economy.
Tim, we talk so much about property taxes in general in Milwaukee County, the city of Milwaukee specifically. For those who live in Illinois, it might be looked at as tax advantages coming to Wisconsin. They're in a tax misery in the state of Illinois. And then you bring up Texas. Well, they have no state income tax. Beside the point, they have a lot of billion-dollar disasters as well. But I wonder how much taxes sort of fuel that movement from Illinois to Wisconsin, because it's viewed as more favorable, and then from Wisconsin to Texas because, well, that situation is also perhaps viewed as more favorable.
Sure. I think taxes are a factor. They're probably not top on the list, but to your point, when we look at Illinois, that's certainly, in my experience in recruiting companies here, moving over the border from Illinois into Wisconsin, it's certainly an issue as it comes to corporate tax rate and kind of individual taxes. So not only do you have higher taxes in Illinois, but for people making long-term capital investments, the big issue is the fragile state of Illinois when it comes to its debt. They have massively underfunded their pension plans. They have a lot of debt in the state. And most employers look down the road and see, ding, ding, that's going to relate in higher taxes. So they make that move kind of north of the border. They can transition their workforce. So it's a really good point. We do have that comparison going in our favor when it comes to Illinois.
We're talking with Tim Sheehy, Senior Advisor for the MMAC. Tim, I hear you just got a sneak peek at one of Milwaukee's newest restaurants. Which one? We've got a lot of them coming up here.
We do. There's two. One right down the street from where I live is Il Ponte, which is Italian for, I think, the bridge. It's a new restaurant that's going to open in September from the people that brought us Loopy and Iris. So I expect really good things from that. The one I got in to look at was High Stakes. This is a Bartolotta restaurant. It's European fine dining. I don't know how descriptive this is to people. It's like a London social club. But I've been in a lot of restaurants in my life. I think this High Stakes is going to be probably the most impressive restaurant I've seen in the last 20 years in Milwaukee.
Wow.
It's really going to be something to see in terms of how it's laid out, the ambiance, the music, the food, and Bartolotta just does it really well. So there's some other really unique things that I won't spill the beans on there, but I think it's going to be a great addition to Milwaukee.
I'm trying to confirm the spelling of steaks. Is that Steaks or is it Akes? That's a big distinction.
Greg, it depends if that's your stomach speaking or your brain speaking.
Right. I'm not really sure yet, but this is going in. Is this going in where the old Rumpus Room was off Water Street, kind of down from the Deer District, right?
It is, and my impression walking in there was it just transformed me to another part of the world. It's just stunning what they've done with the inside, and you can count on the service and the ambiance there. But it's really unique, and I think people will really enjoy it.
Bartolotta does everything top notch. And I'll tell you what, I was looking at some of the pictures on their Instagram from the Peacock Lounge, which I believe is going to be on top of High Stakes, correct?
Correct. The lounge, the Peacock Lounge, is kind of the bar set up in there, and then the restaurant in there, and the whole thing is called High Stakes with the Peacock Lounge and tucked inside of it. So, very, very neat opportunity.
The lounge looked stunning. It looked luxurious. It looked like you wanted to settle up to that bar and ask for a nice cocktail and then go down for a steak later on. It looks awesome.
Yeah, you can do both.
Well, Tim, just anecdotally, I've had some friends visit Milwaukee over the last couple of years, and it's something that they believed that they were stepping into an area where they're going to go to a ball game or do something local, something that was on the scene on their kind of to-do list, but then they realized that the food in Milwaukee was quite a bit better than they ever expected, and the options, and there's something for everyone. There's quiet, there's intimate, there's a little more rowdy. Whatever you're looking for, it seems like you can find it now. So that really is one thing that you can't shortchange about Milwaukee. The food scene has really grown from certainly where you started your career in Milwaukee to where you are now. It's almost indescribable.
It is, and I think Il Ponte is going to be a great addition to the bevy of really good restaurants we have. I just, when I walked into High Stakes, I thought, boy, if I was bringing somebody for the first time to Milwaukee, this is where I'd take them.
Well, and the other thing, Tim, too, if I think about just the word of mouth as well, I mean, the Bartolotta name is known across this country, and that just helps Milwaukee.
Very much so. And again, Adam and Dario Siegel, which do Loopy and Iris and Il Ponte, there's a whole kind of cadre of really good chefs and really good restaurateurs that make Milwaukee a really unique dining area. And I think it's one of the reasons, quite frankly, where some of the national chains that you see in multiple cities just don't do well or don't take root in Milwaukee, because we have all those options homegrown, and that makes the city a unique place and an attractive place.
High Stakes is a bold new steakhouse by the Bartolottas, but it is Stakes, not Eaks, although you can order Eaks. That should be known.
You can. You can, yes.
So, Tim, real quickly here, just thinking about our overall conversation, if you were talking to a 30-year-old, a professional living in Chicago, and they asked you, why should I move to Milwaukee? What's your real quick pitch to them?
Yeah, my one word would be accessibility. That, you can go to a Bucks game, you can go to a Brewers game, you can go to Symphony, you can go to a play, you can go to a really nice restaurant, and it's all really accessible. You can get to and from it from wherever you're living, and there's no hassle in engaging with the cultural amenities and the lifestyle that we have, from the parks to the beer gardens. And when I think about other cities, and I go to them as you do, nice amenities, but it's kind of quite frankly, it's kind of a hassle to get to and from them. So I love the accessibility and the livability of Milwaukee. That's my sales pitch.
Always great information. Great to be joined by Tim Sheehy, Senior Advisor to the MMAC. Always appreciate it, Tim. Thank you.
You bet.
You were talking about population trends. I remember growing up, because my grandparents lived very close to where Wauwatosa turned into Milwaukee.
Sure.
And I always remember seeing the population sign for Milwaukee News. 636,000. It just ingrained in my mind.
You have that number stuck in your head.
It's crazy what you remember as we drove down 84th Street toward Wisconsin Lutheran High School. 636,000 people lived in the city of Milwaukee. Well, now that's down to about 560,000. But the metro area is still about 1.4 million. In fact, it was about 1.4 in 1990, and now it's up to about 1.48. If you want to round up, go ahead. So, yes, some people are leaving the city of Milwaukee, but it's due in part to some of the urban sprawl that we've seen in connecting communities. So while it may be viewed as an economic loss for Milwaukee, you're still looking at about 1.5 million in the metro area. That's not grown significantly or decreased significantly. It's just more opportunities to live in some of the cities that span outside of Milwaukee.
I'll tell you what, anybody who knows me knows I am a big cheerleader for Milwaukee. I grew up here. I left to go to school out of state and then traveled for work, but then I chose to come back here, and I live in downtown Milwaukee. If you've listened to the show, you know I'm a big cheerleader for Milwaukee too. But I'll tell you what, a couple weekends ago, I think 2 weekends ago, I was up in Minneapolis for the night and found a very cool neighborhood and went out to dinner and had a lovely time. But walking through the city, I told my husband, I said, gosh, tonight made me really appreciate Milwaukee even more. And I've done a lot of traveling across, the world in the last couple of years, and especially even just this year too. And even things like how clean our city is. I don't remember who it was, but I remember on the show talking to someone, and they were from out of the area. And I said, what has impressed you the most about Milwaukee? And they said, it's cleanliness. And that surprised me. I thought, really? That was the first thing? But now sometimes when I go to different countries, whether it's Amsterdam or especially Amsterdam, I think, wow, we really do have a clean city. And then you talk about the food scene. I mean, I could go on and on, but it's 12:27, so I can't. But yeah, we do. Listen, we're not a perfect city by any means, and we certainly have our issues, but it's gotten better and better. And it's awesome if you figure out what to enjoy, what you like to enjoy, and how you can make that happen.
We've got news coming up in just a few.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. When it's time for a new vehicle, I know where I'm going. Griffin Ford in Waukesha. It's where I always go. It's where I buy my cars. Bought my Ford Explorer. If you've been thinking about a new SUV or truck, now's the time to stop in. Griffin Ford has an incredible selection. 60 2026 Ford Explorers in stock, starting at just $37,790. Need a truck? They've got more than 50 new 2026 Ford F-150 4x4s in stock. Yeah, starting at only $44,775. And here's the best part. With most new vehicle purchases, you'll receive a 2-year, 25,000-mile premium maintenance plan, giving you even more value and peace of mind. With one of the largest Ford inventories in Wisconsin, you don't have to settle. You can find the color, features, and model that's right for you. Stop by Griffin Ford in Waukesha, where I buy my cars, or visit GriffinFord.com today. Offers end August 31st. See dealer for complete details. It's Griffin Ford.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. Greg Matzik here. If you got a busted garage door, the opener's not working quite right, hey, no worries. Give my friends at Geis a call today. They've got incredible inventory, stacked from floor to ceiling. Brands like CHI and LiftMaster, doors and openers for every budget. They'll even go custom for you, whatever it is to meet your exact needs. You can rely on Geis for swift and reliable garage repair solutions. Check out their showroom in Brookfield. It's right off Barker Road. You'll see what I'm talking about here. Hundreds of doors and openers, that custom design room, everything you need from Geis. Don't think twice. Call Geis and visit GeisDoors.com.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities, where senior living's our expertise. Caring staff that help you when you need. Enjoy life at Capri, making friends and memories. Living life to the fullest, you will love your new home. Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Hildebrand of Hildebrand Law Firm. Since 2001, we've proudly helped Milwaukee families and business owners protect what matters most. We combine the experience of a larger law firm with the personal attention you deserve. We take the time to listen, explain your options, and create a plan that's right for you. When the stakes are high, you need trusted legal advocates who will stand by your side every step of the way. Protect your family, your legacy, and your peace of mind. Visit hildebrandlawfirm.net to schedule a consultation today.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story: a major change could be coming to Milwaukee's wastewater system.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. The Iran war stalemate continues. Iran says it has reached a deal with Oman over a plan for ships to transit the Strait of Hormuz. ABC News military and diplomatic contributor Steve Ganyard.
There are all sorts of things the U.S. can do economically. Sanctions, yes, we do that, but we never really enforce the sanctions. So there is the ability here, if Treasury really puts its mind to it, to force the Iranian economy to the point that the Iranians have to blink.
Dozens of House Democrats demanding answers from the Trump administration about critical mineral agreements amid reports that the Trump family and members of his cabinet could profit from those deals. A hearing is taking place related to Nick Reiner, accused of stabbing his parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner, to death last December. Reiner seeking access to his trust fund to pay his legal bills. Opening statements in Las Vegas in the Tupac Shakur murder trial are going on. The hip-hop star was killed 30 years ago. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:31. Dallas-based Jacob Solutions could become the new operator of the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District.
An ad hoc committee recommended Jacobs for a new 10-year contract to run MMSD over Veolia North America, which has done the work since 2008. Veolia's work is under scrutiny from advocacy group Common Ground, who alleges the operator is mismanaging wastewater treatment facilities, allegations Veolia denies. A third-party audit of Veolia by MMSD is also ongoing. Monday's recommendation is not the final piece of the puzzle. The full MMSD commission will decide who between Jacobs and Veolia will receive the contract offer in September. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
It's a $5,000 cash bond for the Milwaukee woman accused of hiding a man who's charged in a deadly shooting spree.
Elena Cole is charged with 1 felony count of harboring or aiding a felon and 3 misdemeanor counts of child neglect. A judge found probable cause to continue holding Cole after her initial appearance Monday. She pleaded not guilty to the 3 child neglect charges and was ordered to have no contact with her children or the alleged shooter, Thomas Zollicoffer. Cole was ordered to remain sober and placed under supervision if released. Her next court date is next Monday. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Decision Wisconsin. The first look at the race for governor shows a close contest between David Crawley and Tom Tiffany. A new Badger Battleground poll gives Crawley a 4-point advantage with 48% of support compared to 44% for Tiffany. 500 likely general election voters were surveyed through phone call interviews. The poll comes just days after Crawley won a razor-thin Democratic Party primary, and Tiffany secured the Republican nomination.
Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Chris Taylor is officially marking the start of her 10-year term on the state's highest court. Taylor was sworn in during a ceremony last week after winning the seat over Judge Maria Lazar in the spring election. Taylor says protecting judicial independence and ensuring equal justice are her priorities on the court.
We know that equal justice under the law has not come to fruition for all individuals, and our judicial system is not perfect. So we must keep working to make this promise a reality.
Taylor's term officially started August 1st.
The I-94 West leg moves into its next construction phase later tonight, with eastbound traffic dropping from 3 lanes to 2.
This lane reduction runs between 70th Street and General Mitchell Boulevard. Wisconsin DOT's Eric Hansen says the space will be used for the next piece of construction.
This closure is scheduled to remain through later this fall, and this will give us a work zone to place permanent concrete pavement for the future eastbound lanes.
No worries so far for the folks headed in the other direction.
For I-94 westbound through the corridor, that traffic will remain in its current configuration.
Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
Stay close. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, "I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house." Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this, and Summit Credit Union's got you.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Tacklers wanted. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur says the competition at cornerback is open in Green Bay.
Obviously, it starts with doing your right assignment, and then it comes down to your style of play. How are you competing, going after the ball, not only in the pass game, but in the run game as well? Are you sticking your nose in there? And we need corners that are willing and capable tacklers.
A Pro Bowl cornerback last season, Keyshawn Nixon, is spending time practicing with the second team defense at times during camp.
I guess I'm being punished right now. I don't know. I don't really worry about what I'm running in camp, ones or twos. I just keep my process and just compete.
The preseason continues Friday night in Denver against the Broncos. After taking 3 of 4 against the Dodgers in Los Angeles, the Brewers begin a 6-game homestand Tuesday night against the Seattle Mariners. Final game of that homestand will be played against the Braves in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, as part of the MLB Little League Classic in conjunction with the Little League World Series. And the first AP Top 25 preseason college football poll is out. Ohio State is on top, followed by Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Texas.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We still have 2 issues that I'm keeping an eye on. The first one up in Washington County. It was a bad morning up there. We had 2 different crashes, one of them deadly. I-41 South remains closed right now from County K to a little bit beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 60. And I can see the cars that are getting off because of the closure. And there is a clog because of that. Certainly a backup. So heads up here, 41 South is still closed from County K to about Highway 60 because of that crash. Also, down here in the Milwaukee area, we have another crash, I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard. Left shoulder is blocked because of that. I will say there is a backup here. 94 West at Mitchell, that's a busy spot any time of the day, especially now in our construction zone area. But the backup could be a lot worse. I'm watching cars go by. They're going a little bit slower, so it's not exactly a normal drive time, but it could be a lot worse. So thank goodness for that. I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard, left shoulder is blocked because of that crash.
Oh, very nice day today. Mostly sunny, high of 80 degrees. Humidity a little bit down. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 64. Some afternoon storms are possible on Tuesday with a humid high of 82. Sunny, less humid on Wednesday, high 78. Thursday looks very much the same with a high of 78. Friday, we could touch 80 inland. Might be a little cooler near the lake, with a high listed at 75. It's 74 right now in Milwaukee, approaching 1240. Well, if you have a teen at home who might be struggling with anxiety and the ability to cope, you might consider getting a dog. Researchers at Tufts University are showing a strong link between teens' companionship with a dog and its effect on managing social stress. There might be something for adults in here, too. We welcome in ABC's Sherry Preston. How deep a dive did the folks at Tufts take here, Sherry, and what did their research conclude?
Well, one of the things they want to point out is they think that a lot more research in this is necessary, because what they did is they handed out surveys to about 500 kids who were ages 13 to 17 who already had high levels of social anxiety. And what they found is that companionship with a pet dog and caring for a dog's needs were associated with more adaptive coping skills, more emotional regulation, more problem solving, more positive thinking. Now, on the other hand, conflict with a pet dog, say the dog doesn't get along with that well in the family, or, the parents aren't home that much, and so the dog is there, maybe a substitute for the humans. That is not beneficial for kids, and it can lead to less effective coping strategies, but that's to be expected. What they're saying is there's already a large body of research out there that's been shown that there are so many positive actions that can come from pet ownership, especially dogs, because when you've got a dog that's a part of the family, the first time you get that dog, you're teaching chores. You're teaching him how to water that dog and feed that dog. You're teaching that the dog has to be walked on a regular basis, that the dog has needs outside yourself. And so for a child who is struggling emotionally with social skills and coping, which we've heard so much about how difficult mental health struggles have been for kids in this day and age, this is just one more thing that maybe you can kind of think of that maybe would help a kid cope a little bit, a good family dog.
So, Sherry, as a lot of parents are listening to this right now, what should parents take away from this research? Should they rush out and get a dog?
No, I think getting the dog itself has got to be much more of a family decision. You have to know if you have the time for that dog. You have to know if because getting a dog is not like getting something at Target that you can easily take back. I mean, it's a lifelong commitment for that animal. So you really need to take that into account. If you have the time, if you have the number of people who can help care for the dog. However, if there is a kid who is struggling emotionally and their thoughts are maybe you just see that child sitting by themselves with that dog, the quiet moments like that can maybe help you stop and think that even just sitting there and maybe not talking about it, but are helping that child who is already socially anxious. And this is another thing that they're saying, once we get into this and figure out how much this dog can benefit, it wasn't cause and effect. It's not just because you have a dog, it's going to help your mental state, but it is that, do I have to use coping mechanisms less if I'm with that dog? Can I calm myself a little bit more when I'm with that dog? And so, deciding to get a dog is a completely different conversation. But if it's something the family is thinking about, there's a lot of things you can look into when it comes to this.
There's a lot of components here, Sherry, that could go on to help anybody's mental health for that matter. Sort of the calming nature of petting a dog. There's the exercise component. That is good for your mind and your mental health and your overall fitness level. There's also a sense of empathy when that dog looks at you and says, can I please have a treat, right? I need to go outside, right? They're just sort of begging you to do something. You develop a sense of empathy. These are all healthy things, really, for anybody, teens, adolescents, younger kids, adults, and so on.
Yeah, these are things that any person can benefit from these things. I mean, it's what you mentioned, empathy. I think that's really important when it comes to kids and looking outside themselves and knowing there's another being out there that needs my attention. I was talking to another host this morning who was from Orlando, and he said, we lost our family dog a month ago, and it was really heartbreaking. And that's one of the things that psychologists say as well. The loss of a pet can actually help teach a child about grief and about loss. And it might not necessarily be a person, but it is still a member of the family. And that's really important as well. All of these things throughout life are very important. Pets have also been shown to benefit older people. Petting a cat on your lap. It's why there's so many therapy dogs out there. And these are things that psychologists have known, but focusing specifically on the kids who are already socially anxious. They're saying, you know what, here's just another tool in the toolbox that you can use to help kids who are maybe a little bit stressed out by what's going on in the world.
So, Sherry, as we look at this overall, could this research eventually influence how mental health professionals approach treatment for socially anxious kids?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so because it's just one more thing that when you've got this, one of the things that they said again, they wanted to make sure that it was not cause and effect. that the participants who took part in this already had high social anxiety and owned a dog. So, you couldn't, you can't say just because, and like we said, you have a dog, but it's something that if you have a child who's going through therapy, who's doing that, you could maybe say, okay, how do we make this and help other kids also? And I think that they really would like more surveys done and more studies done on the kids who are socially anxious and seeing how having a dog and maybe not having a dog affects the bottom line when it comes to their mental health.
I'd also wonder if dogs sort of top the list on this thing over cats or other animals that you might have in the house. My daughters want to get a rabbit in the house, which is probably not a great idea because we also have a greyhound, and he's spent part of his life chasing the rabbit that he never caught. But nonetheless, dogs require a little bit more work, like you mentioned, Sherry. You don't want to add to the list of chores. That could be a source of anxiety, but there's just a different sort of connection.
I have to say, of all the dogs to not get with a rabbit, all the rabbits to not get with a breed of dog, greyhound, maybe just right up there at the top, considering they were trained to do that. But there is, whether it's a cat or a bunny or a hamster or a guinea pig, all of those things teach a kid about responsibility. When I was a kid, we had different chores in our family, and one of the chores was feed the pets. And we did have a dog, a cat, a hamster, a guinea pig, bird, and fish. And so it took you a long time to actually do that. But it was a chore, and it was something that you did. You did have to walk the dog. The dog needed walking. Cats don't necessarily need walking, but yet they need care as well. And I just think it's so beneficial for children to actually get that training when they're very young, when they do get to be adults, and when those pets, especially dogs, because dogs are so in the moment. We've heard about this. A dog is not thinking about what happened in the past or the future. A dog is thinking about right now and looking at you. You're their main focus. You're the one that they want to please, and there's something just very special about a dog that is different than other kinds of pets.
Always great to connect with ABC's Sherry Preston. Thanks, Sherry. We'll check it again soon.
Appreciate it, Sherry.
Take care, guys.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hey, it's Greg Manzik for Soren's Ford on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, a dealership I drive by at least twice a day, once to work, once on my way home. It is kind of a neighborhood dealership, and they've been around for the community since 1917. That is amazing. 108 years later, still family-owned, still the Soren's name, and still that experience that you cannot do without here. A driving and ownership experience unlike any other awaits at Soren's Ford on Capitol Drive in Brookfield. Took a drive through the parking lot the other day. In fact, I noticed some of the 2027 Ford Expeditions on the lot. My goodness, I had to stop, get out of my car, and look at that. Well, they've got them right now for you at Soren's Ford. The oldest Ford dealership in Metro Milwaukee, the original home of the nice guys, and they are still doing it the right way. Incredible service as well. Last time we had an oil change, my wife's vehicle, they came to the house. They picked up the vehicle, brought it back to the dealership, changed the oil, rotated the tires, brought the vehicle back a couple of hours later, did not even have to leave the house. That's the difference with Soren's. They give back to the community. They support charitable causes. They are wonderful people. Known them for about 30 years. Check out Sorens.com for more. Visit Sorens.com. That's SOERENS.com.
Have you seen videos of Russian floating folk dancers?
Floating Russian whoozy-whatsits?
They wear long dresses so you can't see their feet, so it looks like they're gliding on air.
I've seen those videos. Impressive.
That reminds me of the dining chairs with the Brody table.
The Brody table is my favorite table at Penny Mustard.
You know, the unique design kind of resembles one of those Russian dancers.
You're right.
And check out these upholstered caster dining chairs.
I don't see any casters.
Precisely. It looks like the chair's gliding in air. Here, I'll show you. I can glide over here.
Ooh, nice.
And I can glide over there.
Be careful.
And I can...
Watch out!
I never was a very good dancer.
The Brody table, paired with 4 caster dining chairs, starting at $64.22 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Earn now, spend later at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Now through August 26th, rewards members earn $10 in Blaine's Bucks for every $100 spent in store. Redeemable just like cash September 3rd to the 16th. Right now, rewards members save $100 on a Charbroil Performance 4-burner grill. Assorted rustic pantry spices, jams, and pickled vegetables are 15% off. Plus, Blaine's brand trail mixes also 15% off. Earn Blaine's Bucks now to spend later, just like cash. Only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
See every smile, every milestone, every moment that matters most. From the moment you walk into Shopko Optical, you'll feel welcomed, valued, and genuinely cared for. The team at Shopko Optical takes time to understand your concerns, explain your options, and answer questions so you feel confident in your care. Whether you're due for a comprehensive eye exam or looking for the right eyewear, they're here to support your vision and eye health every step of the way. Create your personalized eye care plan. Visit shopko.com today.
Whoop, just doing some roofing on another lovely Wisconsin day. No gimmicks, no shortcuts. It's just roofing done the old-fashioned way. Do you need shingles? Let's mingle. For a Wisconsin tradition never dwindles. So raise a glass, shake a hand for this old-fashioned brand. Whoop, that's old-fashioned roofing.
25 years ago, a generational Bucks team made an unforgettable run.
This is the place to be.
Write It Up, narrated by Jim Paschke, is the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. This is the oral history of the 2000-2001 Milwaukee Bucks and their run to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Absolute bedlam here at the Bradley Center.
Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, very nice day today. Sunny and a high of 80 degrees. A little mix of clouds, but very comfortable. Humidity a little lower. That dew point down a little bit. Just a beautiful day. Overnight low 64 degrees. Tomorrow, chance of some afternoon and evening thunderstorms. They'll be spread about a little bit. We'll get a better idea of the timing of that and what we're looking at with Lindsay Slater coming up at about 1:35. Rest of the week looks pretty good here. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, maybe touching 80 degrees with temperatures right around the normal part for this time of year. It's 74 right now in Milwaukee at 12:53. Well, a fall concert announcement from Fiserv Forum.
I'm a sucker for you. Say the word and I'll go anywhere blindly. I'm a sucker for you.
I'm not sure which Jonas brother that is, but they, all three of them, will be making a stop at Fiserv Forum November 1st as part of a 45-city North American tour. I have to say they're all coming back because they broke up in 2013. I don't know how their holidays were affected, but they broke up and then they regrouped.
Did they break up, or did one just decide to do the solo thing?
Well, yes. I guess that's, maybe one of the same, maybe not. Hollywood. I can't follow these kids.
And by the way, if you were a Jonas Brothers fan, you likely have a fave.
Yes.
A fave bro.
Do you? You said that as if you have a fave.
Well, I could tell you which one is my fave, but I couldn't tell you his name.
Okay. It's more the look, right?
Yeah, well, I will say I think they're talented. I'm not a huge fan, but my husband did get us tickets one year. He wanted to surprise me because he knows I love live music. I was shocked that he got tickets to this, and I did feel a little old at the concert myself. And I didn't know nearly as many songs as most of the people who were singing, but they're fun. They're a blast. And after that concert, I realized that I did have a fave.
So when the Jonas Brothers first came out, I likened them to Hanson. Remember Hanson?
Oh, but they were
all the
more
little kids.
Mbop.
They were exactly Mbop, and that's kind of where it stayed with Hanson. There was not much beyond Mbop. So I thought,
they have any other hit songs? I know they had a couple more records, but any other hit songs? I just remember the hair. I can picture them back in the day, and I can hear the Mbop.
I don't know that beyond Mbop they were bringing fans to their feet, Jessica, but nonetheless, I thought this might be the demise of the Jonas Brothers, but no. They have turned out like 20 million albums in terms of sales, a couple of Grammy Awards, 26 Billboard Top 100 hits, 3 consecutive #1 debuts. I mean, it's like a no-joke group here. So for as much as I may have wanted to make fun of them back in 2013, I cannot. I cannot make fun of the Jonas Brothers. This is a big deal. The Burning Up tour all over again. It's kind of a reboot of a previous tour that went so well. They're bringing it back here. It does not coincide with a brand new album. It's just the Jonas Brothers on tour, and Fiserv is on the destination list.
And I know somebody's yelling now because they love the Jonas Brothers. Well, which one is her favorite? And I said, I don't know their names. I don't know which one's which, but I do know which one's my favorite. So I just looked it up. I would choose Joe. Joe would be my guy.
I don't know what that means.
But Nick is very popular as well.
So Nick is Kevin, the one I remember. Kevin? That's the other one?
Kevin? I don't know that much about Kevin.
Is that the youngest?
Looks like Kevin is the oldest brother, if this is accurate. I have not fully fact-checked this like I do a lot of things. I'm just doing a quick little Google search on this one.
So the others are better looking? Is that it?
No, there's just something about the vibe.
Okay. All right.
Something about the vibe, Greg.
Gina just nodded yes when I said the others are better looking. But she was a One Direction fan. What was here? New Direction, One Republic. What were you?
One Direction.
One Direction. Yeah, something like that.
Remember NKOTB?
What?
New Kids on the Block.
Oh,
that
yes.
was our time.
Yeah, my friends had a poster. I did not.
Buttons.
For the brave men and women of our United States military, it's been said, some gave all, but all gave some. Here at Tayback Law, we honor these sacrifices by working to ensure veterans receive the benefits they're entitled to. I'm Jim Brzezinski, partner and VA-accredited representative at Tayback Law. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied or feel that your condition was not properly evaluated by the VA, visit TaybackAttorneys.com to set up a free evaluation. At Tayback Law, we fight for those who fought for us. Contact Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
All right, there's a fourth brother now? I did not know this.
I said, oh, shoot, I wish I would have. I did know there was a fourth brother. I just didn't know much about him. His name is Frankie. Huh. He's the youngest brother of the family. He was not part of the original core band trio, but this is the best part. He is sometimes called the Bonus Jonas. So glad I just learned that.
He is 25 years old. His birthday is coming up September 28th. I, too, am learning about Franklin Jonas. He's listed as an American singer and actor, so maybe he'll be joining the band here for their tour in Milwaukee. That's why you got to buy tickets, everybody. Why not enjoy a Palermo's pizza after the show? That sounds good. Lunch, dinner, really any time. After a Jonas Brothers show, great time to settle down with Palermo's. Made in Wisconsin, sold wherever you like to shop. Got a buy one, get one deal. Up and running through the 18th right now. Screamin' Sicilian. Buy one, get one at Pick and Save and Metro Market stores. I was there yesterday and picked up a couple. As a matter of fact, bought one, got the other one free. It's a buy one, get one. Screamin' Sicilian made by Palermo's. My personal favorite. Overflowing with toppings. They have a thin and crispy Screamin' Sicilian. They've got the original. You really can't go wrong here when it's made by Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Come on into Tyson's, more for you.
This summer, Tyson's is giving one lucky winner the ride of a lifetime. A 2026 Harley-Davidson Street Glide Liberty Edition or $30,000 cash. You pick. Entering is free. Visit your local Tyson's and scan the sweepstakes QR code. One entry per day, and you can come back every day for another chance to win. Sweepstakes run July 4th through September 7th. We'll see you there. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 18 and older. Void where prohibited. See official rules at Tysons.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, J.D. Griffith's Garage Door. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
For more than a century, Curative Care has been helping children, adults, and families across southeast Wisconsin navigate developmental disabilities and find the support they need to thrive. Curative helps families every step of the way, from early childhood through adulthood, connecting parents with resources, providing guidance during challenging times, and creating a community where people truly belong. If you know someone who may be looking for answers and support for a loved one with developmental disabilities, visit curative.org today.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Are your employee-free Hasselus showroom some kind of big viral prank?
We simply let you try our selection of Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more without commission-crazy salespeople breathing down your neck.
Sure you do.
And through Monday, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of a select Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress, plus free next-day delivery.
So shopping at Hasselus won't make me TikTok famous?
Absolutely not.
Darn.
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Hey, it's Kristen Bry from Point Taken on 620 WTMJ. You know, in radio, people hear your voice first. But when I'm out in the community, meeting listeners or hosting events, I'm told that my smile is my signature. That's why I trust Dr. James Michaels and the team at Economawalk Dental Care with my smile. And yes, I drive all the way from Milwaukee to Economawalk to see Dr. Michaels and his incredible staff. Because when you find a dental team that makes you feel comfortable, listened to, and cared for, that drive is worth it. Dr. Michaels has been practicing in Economawalk for more than 25 years. And his approach is simple. Treat people the way they want to be treated. Whether you're due for a cleaning, thinking about cosmetic options, or just need a dental home where you feel at ease, call Economawalk Dental Care at 262-567-7224. That's 262-567-7224, or visit drmichaelsdentalcare.com. Economawalk Dental Care with Dr. James Michaels, the team I trust with my smile.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 101. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, August 17th. Your top story, 2 serious crashes in Washington County, 1 turning deadly.
I'm Jessica Ty. A deadline approaching for Wisconsin storm victims.
Plenty of sunshine today. Little mix of clouds, high 80 degrees. Dew point relatively calm here. Very nice day today. Partly cloudy tonight at a low of 64. It's 74 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 102. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, southbound 41 remains closed near Highway K in Washington County following 2 serious crashes earlier today.
One vehicle pinned vertically between multiple others with 3 passengers inside of it, at least 1 child there unconscious and talking.
Dispatch audio courtesy of Broadcastify. The sheriff's office says 2 semis and 4 vehicles were involved. 5 adults and an infant were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The second crash happened as authorities were investigating an earlier motorcycle accident on 41 near Ridgefield. A 57-year-old man died at the scene after investigators say he lost control of the motorcycle while merging onto the freeway.
Meanwhile, 1 person is seriously hurt after a crash between a semi and a combine harvester in Dodge County.
The crash happened when a semi hauling corn rear-ended a combine on State Highway 16 Saturday morning. The driver of the combine, a 70-year-old man from Reeseville, was life-flighted to the hospital with serious injuries. The driver of the semi, a 25-year-old man from Sharon, had minor injuries and was released at the scene. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin residents affected by severe storms and flooding in April have 2 more weeks to apply for federal disaster assistance.
And renters in designated counties may qualify for help with uninsured home damage, personal property losses, or emergency needs tied to the April storms. The Small Business Administration is also accepting applications for physical disaster loans through August 31st. Economic injury disaster loan applications will remain open through March 30th, 2027 for eligible businesses in designated and surrounding counties. FEMA says people who are denied assistance can appeal with 60 days of the date on their decision letter. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
More details about FEMA assistance can be found on our website, WTMJ.com.
It's been 60 days since the U.S. and Iran signed a memorandum of understanding. Remember that? It was billed as the first step to wind down the war. But no progress has been made, and both sides have been trading attacks in recent weeks. Now, as ABC's Karen Travers reports, President Trump is out with some new threats as Oman and Iran discuss plans to patrol the Strait of Hormuz.
Iran has said today that they are getting close to a final agreement where those 2 countries would figure out a way to manage the Strait of Hormuz. The administration, of course, has maintained that this can be under control of no country, despite the president in recent days saying the United States controls it and even suggesting that he would try to make it a U.S. territory. He did not, of course, explain how he would do that, and Iran pushed back very strongly, saying this is in Iranian hands.
Right now, there are no official plans for the U.S. and Iran to resume peace talks.
And the president has run out of appeals to the Supreme Court in the E. Jean Carroll case.
After being found liable for sexual abuse and defamation, Donald Trump was ordered to pay E. Jean Carroll $5 million. His legal team appealed that decision numerous times. He ended up paying her the money, and now the Supreme Court has refused for a final time to review its denial. However, there was an earlier case focusing solely on defamation, for which a jury ordered Donald Trump to pay $83 million. He claims he made the remarks in his official capacity as president, and since the High Court gave him blanket immunity, he cannot be held liable. That case is still pending. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. The Dow is off about 300 points this afternoon at 53,453. NASDAQ down about 92 at 26,637. And the S&P down in the red about 30 points at 77.54. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
A team to be reckoned with. We're talking about the Brewers next. Sports, traffic, and weather right after this. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, is 105.
Do you suffer from moderate to severe slumpiness?
Slumpiness? I've never heard that expression.
I know. I made it up.
What does that mean?
You know, when someone's hungry and angry?
Yeah, we say they're hangry.
Well, I've coined the term slumpy for someone who's grumpy from a bad night of sleep.
Clever.
But Penny Mustard has discovered the cure for severe slumpiness.
Let me guess. A nightly dose of a double-sided hybrid mattress.
It's just what the doctor ordered.
Penny Mustard's exclusive line of hybrid mattresses is made in Wisconsin and combines a steel coil spring center and specialty foam. Our mattresses have been proven to last 45% longer than the average unflippable model.
Ask your doctor about Penny Mustard. They probably bought their mattress here too. Or at least I hope they did, because who wants a slumpy doctor?
Come see our selection of sophisticrafted, double-sided hybrid mattresses at Penny Mustard. Find a showroom near you at pennymustard.com.
Flippable versions of what slumpy people want.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special?
The welcomeness. People are so friendly. If you have a problem, you can go to anybody. The community and the sense of safety provided for my mom and dad, and it's just like the most wonderful place to be.
They're just delightful everywhere. I don't see staff, I see friends. Aww. And I really do feel that.
And you couldn't live in more beautiful grounds.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Picture this, a perfect summer evening, great friends, and dinner on the patio overlooking a beautiful course. That's Racine Country Club. More than golf, it's a place to relax, gather, and belong. A new energy is here, and you're invited to experience it. From great food to unforgettable events, it's a lifestyle built around community. Whether it's a quick night after work, dinner with friends, or a weekend with family, Racine Country Club offers something for everyone, year-round. Discover what's new at Racine Country Club. Visit racinecountryclub.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Brewers with a day off today, well-deserved after that long road trip in which they take the final three of that four-game series against the Dodgers. Impressive return for the Brewers for Logan Henderson on the mound, outdueling Tarek Skubal.
A little momentum, and after obviously getting swept in San Diego, I think this was huge for us.
Possible Sal Frila comes off the injured list before Tuesday night's game against the Seattle Mariners. Meanwhile, Tucker Kraft is back in Green Bay. The Packers tight end returns to 11-on-11 work roughly 10 months after tearing his ACL.
Now that I've gotten back to team reps, as I continue to accumulate reps, I hope I can continue to rise my game as well. Take myself, to new heights rather than just return to pre-injury.
Kraft is trending towards suiting up for week 1 of the regular season against the Vikings. The Packers continue preseason play Friday night in Denver against the Broncos.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We continue to deal with 2 crashes. One that popped up early this morning. This was a nasty one. 41 South is closed still from County K to about Wisconsin 60. That's because of a crash. Once again, that is up in Washington County. It is closed right now. I-41 South closed from County K to a little bit beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 60 because of that crash this morning. Also still dealing with a crash closer to the city of Milwaukee here in a busy spot. I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard. That's where you have the construction cones as well, our construction zone. Left shoulder is blocked due to a crash there. That's I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard. I did say earlier that considering it's such a busy spot and now we do have a crash, that the backups weren't too bad. That remains the case, but it is slowing down a little bit more now.
80 degrees your high today, plenty of sunshine, little mix of clouds, comfortable temperatures and conditions. Overnight low 64 degrees. Morning, we should be dry, and then the clouds rolled in. Maybe some rain in the afternoon on Tuesday with a high of 83 degrees. Definitely more muggy. Dew point's going to rise a little bit tomorrow in the afternoon. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. Should be a good deal of sun and some clouds mixed. No rain in the forecast Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. At least not yet. It's 75 right now in Milwaukee at 110.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
110 here on WTMJ. Greg and Jessica with you till 3 o'clock, back from our venture out to State Fair for a week plus. And, did you end up going to the weekend and getting your hot cheese, by the way?
Oh, gosh. I had hot cheese before I left. So final day, I know you had a day off and you got to travel with family. So after work on Friday, I did have my hot Wisconsin cheese.
Good.
And then my husband and I went back just to enjoy the fair in not a work capacity on Saturday night. And I had some more hot Wisconsin cheese, Greg. And guess what? I had so much fair food. I don't normally do that, but we did. We just had a lot of fair food. And I thought somebody's going to have to roll me out of there. I even tried the pizza with pickles on it.
Oh,
because I'd heard that was really good.
Verdict?
And it didn't look amazingly appetizing, but I thought I do like pickles. And you could tell it was creamy, the pizza as well. And so it looked like it had the possibility to be good. And it was. But I felt gross by the end of the night.
Creamy
too
pizza.
Much. Too much fair food.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Speaking of the Wisconsin State Fair, a lot of us had a ton of fun. It was a great event for families, but there was a chaotic end to the Wisconsin State Fair. Multiple fights broke out in Spin City. The video is all over social media today. Text WATCH to the Saudi Unlimited talk and text line to see exactly what unfolded. That's WATCH to 855-616-1620.
All right, we're moving in with the horses. Large fight.
Scanner audio from Broadcastify and video on social media shows a large number of West Dallas police responding to the Spin City area on the fairgrounds last night. Multiple fights broke out, officers chasing after people as they tried to clear the area. Dispatch audio also indicates one officer was apparently punched in the face during the incident. Police have not said whether anyone else was injured or whether any arrests were made. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Yeah, you had just a large group of teenagers and young adults running and throwing punches at each other, numerous people on the ground. Last year, the final day of the Wisconsin State Fair was canceled due to flash flooding, and this year, the final night ends in fights. Not what State Fair wanted.
Well, in the video that is being shown on our live stream right now, it is everywhere on social media, not just local outlets. I mean, this is spread all over social media. You do not have to live in Wisconsin to know what happened at the Wisconsin State Fair on the final night. And it's the kind of thing that leads organizers of this fair, of fairs like Summerfest, other state fairs, to wonder if the rides, if Spin City should be a thing moving forward. I know they have wrestled with this in years past.
Well, and think about Summerfest. When we were growing up, there was an area full of rides. We don't really have that at Summerfest anymore. And then there were issues back then as well.
They took it out, I think, largely because of this reason. So fair organizers are going to have to deal with this. But it is a bad look for what was otherwise a fantastic run of the Wisconsin State Fair. Well, number 2, flooding across the state of Indiana receding finally following deadly storms over the weekend. Alex Perez is in Carmel, Indiana, with the latest.
At least 7 people have been killed, including a 4-year-old boy, after several days of torrential rain and flash flooding inundated the state. Emergency crews conducting dozens of water rescues. At one point, at least 150,000 without power. Streets turned to rivers, roads washed away.
Officials are describing it as a once-in-a-lifetime weather event that started August 11th. They had consecutive rounds of rain. It just kept coming day after day, dumping 11 to 12 inches over a 36 to 48-hour period in the hardest-hit regions.
Number 3, some changes on the road to the White House. The Democratic National Committee voted over the weekend to finalize the new order of states for the 2028 presidential nominating process. Former DNC Chair Donna Brazile supports the changes.
It will battle test our potential nominee, will give them an opportunity to road test their message with black voters, rural voters, urban voters, working class voters.
So now it's South Carolina going first on January 22nd. Then about a week later, Nevada, followed by New Hampshire on February 8th, New Mexico the following week, then Michigan, Virginia, and ultimately Super Tuesday, the big one. Wisconsin voters don't cast their primary vote until April 4th, 2028. And you'll note Iowa is not on top with this new schedule. The Hawkeye State loses its first in the nation caucus status after 54 years. Iowa Democrats have previously threatened to skirt the DNC's calendar, but the DNC is ratcheting up sanctions, both on those who try to grow rogue and others who are just threatening to do so.
It's 1:15 on WTMJ.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
Siding Unlimited is truly siding and a whole lot more. They are the best installation teams you will find. They're right there. Siding Unlimited, located here in southeastern Wisconsin. They have done incredible work at my homes over the years, from windows to the beautiful siding job they did when we built our house about 9 years ago. Going on 10, as a matter of fact. Amazing. I pressure washed it a little bit over the weekend. That siding still looks fantastic. No color fading, no warping of the boards. And we have seen other siding jobs in our neighborhood kind of show their signs of wear. You would not notice that with our place. LP Smart Side Siding, a fantastic product, expertly installed by Siding Unlimited. That's the perfect marriage. Siding Unlimited will do it for you, like they've done for me, improving your home and defending it against Mother Nature. They are the best in the business. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
Are you hosting an event, launching something new, wanting to get the word out about your part of the state? Be a featured guest on the WTMJ Experience Wisconsin show. Share your story, promote your event or business, and connect with fans all across the state. I'm John Merkier. I'd love to interview you. We reach listeners from Milwaukee to Madison, Green Bay to La Crosse, everywhere in between. It's Experience Wisconsin. Ready to shine a spotlight on your business or company? Email me, john@WTMJ.com for more information. john@WTMJ.com.
Tell them you want hardwood, but make it affordable. Vince Vitrano here for Hunt's Flooring. A lot of people think hardwood flooring is out of their price range. We did. Then we visited Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. Right there on Highway 100, Hunt's has a large inventory of hardwood in stock at discounted pricing. We just got Phil to show us around, see what he had priced to move, and we locked in a great deal. We were able to do our entire first floor. These are in-store deals only, not something you find online. Stop in, take a look, tell them Vinny sent you to Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield.
Nice day today. Good deal of sunshine. Temperatures right around 80 degrees for your high. Humidity down a little bit. Beautiful day. It changes a little tomorrow with a chance of afternoon thunderstorms in the forecast. Lindsay Slater joins us coming up in about 20 minutes. The rest of the week, work week anyway, looks dry. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, temperatures in the mid-70s to low 80s. And partly cloudy conditions throughout the week. It's 75 right now in Milwaukee at 118.
It's time for another edition of Crane Watch. Today we're focusing on a part of downtown Milwaukee where the cranes are still very much at work. At a time when construction has slowed considerably across Metro Milwaukee, the Deer District is having a very different kind of year. A new concert venue has opened, a housing development is underway, and construction is expected to begin on a new hotel. So, has the Deer District finally evolved from the place we go for a Bucks game into an actual 365-day neighborhood? Josh Jeffers, founder and CEO of J. Jeffers & Company, joins us live in the studio. Great to have you back.
Good to be back.
So during our last edition of Crane Watch, we talked about how much construction has slowed across Metro Milwaukee, and yet the Deer District seems to be bucking that trend. Why is that part of downtown seeing so much investment right now?
Yeah, it really has been quite a hotbed of construction activity so far just this year of 2026. You know, the Landmark Credit Union Live, $70 million project just opened up last February. In March, our Fieldhouse Flats development, 269 units of workforce housing. We broke ground on that. That's another $117 million of construction. And then just last week, there was a groundbreaking for a new AC Hotel, $50 million hotel project, 156 hotel rooms. So I think what you're seeing is, there's been years of development activity in the Deer District, and I think we've hit a tipping point where it's starting to become a real neighborhood.
So, Josh, I think some people wonder how much of that land is controlled by the Bucks. So if you want to do any sort of development, whether it's the concert venue, the hotel, you name it, we've obviously seen a number of restaurants open up in that area. How much of that is working with the city versus working with the Bucks, or is it all kind of lumped together?
It is kind of lumped together a little bit. Most of that land is actually owned by the Bucks. It goes all the way back to when the current ownership group purchased the Bucks from Herb Cole, and they bought a lot of the land around Fiserv Forum as well, and they've just been developing it out over time.
So arena districts, and we've seen this at the Deer District, can be incredibly busy on game nights, but then also incredibly quiet when there's nothing happening. Is that a challenge when developing the area around the arena?
It is a challenge. You've got this boom-bust kind of cycle of activity in these areas. You've got these peaks and valleys of activity. Everyone that goes to Fiserv Forum for a game, they see all the activity, all the excitement. But if you go there, at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday, there's maybe not so much going on.
So how do you solve that?
Other uses, and this I think is kind of what we're seeing. You get all these other different real estate uses around the district itself. And I think this was part of the Bucks ownership group original strategy when they first bought the team. They wanted to not just buy the team, but activate this whole part of the downtown. So all this ancillary development that's really kind of finally starting to get built now was part of the original plan. So you've got hotel uses, apartments, hotels. Each of these different types of real estate attracts a different population at different times of the day and different times of the week.
So as you look at the Deer District, do you believe there's an appetite for more retail in that area, or is that part of the plan? We've seen so many mixed-use developments where you live on floors, 2 through 14, and then below is a place to grocery shop and maybe a little gym and a place to work out or get your hair cut or something like that, or even a restaurant. Is there enough of that in the Deer District, or is there even an appetite for it?
Well, there's definitely an appetite. That is the dream. That's what we want. We want to see that level of pedestrian traffic walking around the Deer District, during the day, nights and weekends, to be able to support that level of ground floor retail. And what helps that is exactly what we're seeing, right? You're getting apartments that are built that attracts permanent, residential dwellers that now live in that neighborhood. Deer District, we can start to think of it as an actual neighborhood. You've got the hotel dwellers that are there overnight or on the weekends. They can help support that kind of retail. So what you really start to see is the neighborhood itself almost becomes like an ecosystem. All these different uses kind of help support each other a little bit.
So what is still missing in the Deer District? If we're sitting here 5 years from now and Deer District has truly become a mature downtown neighborhood, and we're thinking of it as an entire neighborhood and not just the Deer District where you go for a game or maybe some people live or some people stay for a night in the hotel, what has to be built between now and then?
Well, I think the one thing that is still proposed but hasn't been built yet is office space. Our Fieldhouse Flats development is on Block 5. There is another site called Block 6 that I think has been very close to getting an office building built there. But that's probably the last kind of category of real estate, to get built there, because otherwise, this AC Hotel that's brought to you by the same group, NCG, developer out of Madison that built the Trade Hotels. They've got a great track record. You've got market rate housing. You've got workforce housing. There is a growing amount of retail. There's certainly a lot of restaurants, bars, other hospitality there. But I think an office building is probably the next thing.
It is interesting to think about how office space has evolved here in Milwaukee. Now you've got a little more return to work, right? So these office buildings are becoming a little bit more populated. But I don't know if anything will ever rival what it was in the 80s and 90s, where now some of those office spaces are being turned into the apartments or to solve some of the housing crisis. So how do you thread that needle where, yes, you might need some office space, but there's a lot of empty office space right now in the city?
There's a lot of empty office space, and a lot of it is being converted, like you said, to these other uses. That's a huge trend that's happening nationally, and it's happening here in Milwaukee. But what sparks new development, new construction of an office building is if you have an anchor tenant that is so big, they need a whole new building. And there are some of those tenants that are out in the market right now looking for 70, 80, even 100,000 square feet, which is such a big block of space that you can justify building a whole new building around them.
Who are some of those? I know a lot of people downtown would like a Target. I mean, you can get to a Target. It doesn't take that much time to do it, but a lot of people have said we would love a Target downtown.
There have been proposals for a downtown Target for over a decade, and I would love to see that happen at one point. In fact, I think there was one proposed actually for the Avenues at one point in time.
TJ Maxx opened up instead.
That's right.
A lot of people were frustrated by that.
That's right. Yeah, Target would be amazing. Grocery stores, also fantastic tenants, to get, really generates a lot of downtown activation, that pedestrian activity we talked about. And then, there are some very big law firms that are out there. We built the Huron office building for Hush Blackwell back in 2020.
That's a beautiful building, by the way.
I appreciate you saying that. Yes, that's actually, despite it being a new construction building, people always think that it's historic. They think it's actually a historic building.
Because of the brick.
Because of the brick.
Yeah.
It blends in with the historic buildings to the north of it.
The contrast between like that Cream City brick and the black, I say it oftentimes. It's a beautiful building.
I appreciate you saying that.
Have you had a chance to visit the new Northwest Mutual Tower yet? Do you go in there with a disguise and whatever just to kind of hide?
I can neither confirm nor deny that I've been on site in that building. Here's what it's pretty fantastic what they're doing with that space. And, there again, I mean, there is continued demand for office space, in the downtown.
And then they've got the baby building next door as well that they just put the topper on, the name topper for Northwestern Mutual.
That's right.
Well, we love talking about everything that is currently being built and will be built in the city of Milwaukee, so we appreciate you joining us. That's Josh Jeffers, founder and CEO of J. Jeffers & Company, for our latest installment of Crane Watch. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
It's 1:26, local news and top national headlines up next.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7.
Well, after a long day of driving from Minneapolis back to home yesterday, it was fun to settle into the basement, watch a little Brewers baseball. Yes, that's right, our beautifully finished basement, thanks to Matrix Basement Finishing. They did an incredible job from design through completion of construction. Once that final little list on the punch list was knocked off the list, we were set to enjoy our basement right in time for the holidays. Matrix Basement Finishing transformed this space into the heart of our home. If you're thinking about doing that basement, you're not sure exactly where to start, I can tell you this. You connect with Matrix, they come by, you've got a free, no obligation design consultation happening right in front of your eyes. They do it at your house, right? Or else. Well, every step of the process is done at your house. You don't have to go anywhere with Matrix. Check out Matrix online. Check out all the reviews, all the 5-star reviews. You can see some of my before and after pictures as well through social media pages. It's a design consultation, plan review, progress updates, completed project. For us, it took about 11 weeks. Matrix Basement Finishing.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Griffin's Hub. If you've been waiting for the right time to upgrade your ride, this is it. Griffin's Hub is making August a huge month to save. Right now, you can lease a brand new Jeep Cherokee 4x4 Laredo for just $381 a month for 42 months with $39.99 down plus tax and fees with approved credit. That's an outstanding way to get behind the wheel of a legendary Jeep. Or if you've had your eye on a new truck, check this out. Griffin's Hub has a 2026 Ram Rebel for just $59,340. That's an incredible $18,000 off MSRP. One of the biggest savings you'll see all year on a Ram Light Duty. Whether you're looking for SUV capability or truck toughness, Griffin's Hub has the deals to get you moving. Visit Griffin's Hub today or shop online at griffinshubchryslerjeepdodge.com. But don't wait. August offers end August 31st. See Griffin's Hub for complete details. Offers available with approved credit, lease, and purchase offer. Expires August 31st, 2026.
Foster care isn't about finding perfect kids. It's about being there when they need you most.
Mrs. White stuck out even when she didn't have to. She took me back in. That's why I'm here.
The hard part is you got to stick around. It's only through a lot of hard times sometimes that a kid kind of gets to that
turning point to then have the breakthrough where you did change that kid's life.
Exactly.
Sometimes changing a child's life starts with simply refusing to give up. Learn more at lacausa.org.
It happens without warning. And when it's a truck crash, everything changes. Call Gruber Law Offices and let us protect your rights. We've got the knowledge, skills, and resources to win. One call, that's all.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, August 17th. Your top story, from working in the courthouse to facing felony charges.
I'm Jessica Ty. The race for governor is already looking like a close one.
Sunny today, high 80 degrees. It's currently 74.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Today's the deadline set by the deal that President Trump signed at Versailles in June for ending the war with Iran and reaching an accord on its nuke program. President Trump, in a social media post, ordered reduced U.S. participation in joint U.S.-South Korean military exercises that just started. Trump wants to reinforce his relationship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, says ABC News military and diplomatic contributor Steve Ganyard.
Everything that the Iranians have been doing in terms of hardened underground, they've learned from the North Koreans. All their missile technology. So all those missiles that are killing American troops, hitting civilian areas in the Gulf countries, in Jordan and Israel, that is North Korean technology.
Two U.S. officials tell ABC News that nothing has changed so far with the joint war games with South Korea. House Democrats demanding answers from the Trump administration about mineral agreements amid reports that the Trump family and cabinet members could profit from them. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. A Milwaukee County court official facing felony charges after police discovered a drug operation at her home.
The basement of a home owned by Samotria Matthews was used to package, store, and manufacture fentanyl and cocaine, according to a criminal complaint. Matthews was a deputy division administrator for the Milwaukee County Clerk of Circuit Court, according to a LinkedIn profile. Her two family members, Rodney and Terrion Matthews, face multiple felonies related to drug possession with intent to deliver and for leading police on two high-speed chases. Samotria is charged with maintaining a drug trafficking place as party to a crime. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Decision, Wisconsin. The first look at the race for governor shows a close contest between Tom Tiffany and David Crowley.
A new Badger Battleground poll gives Crowley a 4-point advantage with 48% support compared to 44% for Tiffany. 500 likely general election voters were surveyed through phone call interviews. The poll comes just days after Crowley won a razor-thin Democratic primary and Tiffany secured the Republican nomination. In last week's primary, Wisconsin Democrats cast nearly 800,000 ballots, their highest total for a midterm in more than 20 years. The two candidates are now campaigning ahead of the November 3rd general election. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin's newest Supreme Court justice says protecting the independence of the judiciary will be a major focus during her time on the bench. Justice Chris Taylor sworn in last week, beginning her 10-year term on the state's highest court.
Today, the judiciary is at a critical juncture. The attacks on the independence of the judiciary and the rule of law, both in the United States and abroad, are the most aggressive I have seen in my lifetime.
Taylor defeated Judge Maria Lazar in the spring election.
There's a trade-off coming for drivers along the I-43 Rock Freeway. One northbound entrance is reopening while another prepares to close.
So starting the morning of Wednesday, August 19th, that Highway 83 entrance ramp to 43 northbound that's been closed for a while in McGuanago, that is scheduled to reopen that Wednesday morning.
That's Wisconsin DOT's Eric Hansen. The second change is at Highway 164.
The Highway 164 entrance ramp to 43 northbound and the Waukesha and Big Bend area, that ramp will begin a long-term closure that same day and will remain closed through later the fall this year.
That closure affects the northbound entrance near Big Bend. Debbie Laziga, WTMJ News.
An office renovation project at Northwestern Mutual will soon bring thousands of employees to downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Business Journal editor-in-chief Timothy Gibbons tells WTMJ that's not great news for those looking for a parking spot, but it is good news for business in general.
If you're a restaurant or a other place downtown, though, you're probably more excited about this. As part of that opening, there also will be a restaurant in that building that opens up and, some other things that are in line to take place. So it is going to be an interesting impact on downtown to have, 2,000 more people just suddenly descend on the area.
Northwestern Mutual plans to have employees move from its Franklin campus to the new North Tower in January.
The comeback crew strikes again. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Meet Jim and Rita. We went on a motorcycle trip. But somewhere in Wyoming, Jim and Rita were in a serious accident. They blocked off the interstate and everything and took us to the hospital. Sometime later, Rita made a discovery. She had noticed that the bracelet was gone. And I asked the trooper, is there a chance we can go out there and see if it's still there? And amazingly, he found a couple of pieces.
It was only 2 tiny links of the bracelet.
Jim was determined to buy Rita another bracelet from Kessler's. And I had my checkbook in my hand. But when he arrived there, and I said, okay, how much? And she says, that's part of our warranty. Jim and Rita discovered the Kessler's miraculous no small print warranty. It's just amazing that you guys do this.
And it's true.
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed. It's just that simple.
It surely is miraculous.
Read the Kessler's miraculous no small print warranty yourself at KesslersDiamonds.com.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Frederick and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in eastern Wisconsin. So there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit frederick.com/cancer.
Vince Vitrano here with your HVAC guy, Urban Heating and Cooling. How much longer does that furnace have? Question to ask my man Ryan. His family-owned business with his wife Ellie, based in Franklin. They serve all of southeast Wisconsin. Now, what Ryan most wants to do is help you get as much life out of that furnace that you've already got. But when you have him in for a tune-up, now he can give you an honest assessment on how much longer that older unit will hold out. Free estimate is always part of the deal, so you know it will fit your budget. Tell him Vinny sent you when you call urbanheatingandcooling.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. A well-deserved off day for the Brewers after going 10-7 in their recent run of 17 games without a day off. They do have a day off today before welcoming in the Mariners for Game 1 of a 3-game series. Sal Frelick continues to work through his rehab assignment in Nashville. It's possible he comes off the injured list before Tuesday night's game. Tucker Kraft is back, wearing a Packers uniform and participating in team drills roughly 10 months after tearing the ACL in his right knee.
Now that I've gotten back to team reps, as I continue to accumulate reps, I hope I can continue to rise my game as well, take myself, to new heights rather than just return to pre-injury.
Kraft is trending towards suiting up for Week 1 of the regular season. The preseason continues for the Packers Friday night in Denver against the Broncos.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a brand new crash, this one in Milwaukee County. Highway 100 North at Capitol. Right shoulder is blocked because of this crash. I'm pulling up the cameras for you, and I do see numerous emergency responders already at the scene. There's a fire truck out there. There's an ambulance out there, too. Hopefully the injuries are not severe. This is a new crash in Milwaukee County. Highway 100 North at Capitol Drive. Right shoulder is blocked. We also still have 2 crashes from earlier. One earlier this afternoon, I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard. That's a busy spot in downtown Milwaukee. Also in our construction zone, I-94 West at Mitchell. Left shoulder is blocked due to that crash. And then it was just a nasty morning, an unfortunate morning as well, up near Slinger. And because of one of those crashes in that area, I-41 South remains closed from County K to about Highway 60.
Oh, beautiful day today. Good mix of sun and clouds. Comfortable temperatures do point a little bit down. That seems to be kind of a theme for the week, with the exception of Tuesday, where we might bring about a little bit of rain. We welcome in TMJ4 meteorologist Lindsay Slater. Hard to pick out a better start to the work week than today, Lindsay. It's gorgeous.
I know. Normally people don't like Mondays, but this is probably one of the best days. Honestly, though, Wednesday, Thursday is also really good. So you really can't hate Monday today.
Okay.
Tuesdays are always the harder days.
And speaking of that, I did notice when you said, okay, today's lovely, and then Wednesday, Thursday, but what about Tuesday? What's happening Tuesday?
So Tuesday, we just have a cold front coming. Now, this isn't like a meaty front. It's not a washout situation. Quite frankly, it's just some isolated to scattered showers, maybe a few boomers in there, or thunder showers. I usually kind of use that language when I'm not worried about severe weather. It doesn't sound too threatening. But I would say after 2 o'clock, going until 9 o'clock, we have these opportunities for, a couple of pop-ups and then maybe some scattered activity as well. Maybe some downpours, maybe a little lightning, but overall Tuesday will be much more humid. We're back to those dew points in those upper 60s, so it's going to feel much more soupy. We're back to 82 degrees, so kind of more of a summertime day, where it's nice in the morning and then the afternoon, couple of thunderstorms, and then they're gone before you go to sleep. So a decent day, and then after that, Wednesday, Thursday, we're back in the mid and upper 70s, but the dews go back to the upper 50s, which will feel amazing.
Oh, that definitely sounds nice. A little bit of fall kind of vibes here. We were out of town for the weekend, Lindsay, and I turned off our sprinkler system. I was like, it's going to rain on Saturday. No need to worry about that. I come back, it was pretty dry. It seems like anything that's been sort of hinting at moving our direction is either fizzled out or maybe stayed south, or in some cases, I guess, north. But they haven't been hit by much rain here in southeastern Wisconsin.
I mean, we did alleviate our drought from one of those weekends of rain, but I remember I was doing the morning show on Friday, and I was watching the system come, and I'm like, yeah, this is really looking kind of like a south thing. So at 4 o'clock, when I did another post, I said, it really looks like this is going to be just like Kenosha, Walworth County. So I let my parents know. I'm like, yeah, you probably want to go ahead and water before you guys go out of town, because it's not trending too great for us. And it was never a big one. But yeah, I was hoping we'd get a little bit, because it is nice to keep the grass green. And, a lot of the systems were going south, and that's because that's where that boundary was. Thank God it moved out, because now you don't have to worry about poor Illinois, who just got hammered last week. So I'm thankful. And now, like I said, tomorrow I'm tracking a classic cold front versus the stationary front that is the bane of my existence.
Well, when you talk about fizzling out, I think about Saturday, because my husband and I were going to go to the state fair, and I said, I looked outside, and I'm downtown, and I looked over kind of to back out to the burbs and to the left. There was kind of some ominous clouds that looked dark, and I said, is it going to rain, though? And I said, did you look at the radar? And he said, I looked at the radar, nothing's dropping. And then we went outside, we got in the car, and all of a sudden, I was like, what is that on the windshield? All of a sudden, there were like a couple of drops. But there wasn't much. I thought, hopefully by the time we get out there, it'll stop, and that's really what happened. It was just like a little bit, the tiniest drizzle possible.
Little drizzle, I know. And that's the thing, too, is that drizzle actually does not get picked up on radar. So it could actively be drizzling or misting. The radar is going to look fine, because it's so small of a feature, the radar can't pick it up. Isn't that cool?
Oh, I love that. Okay, good fact.
Well, that is interesting. So you didn't get wet at the fair then? You were good?
No, but I mean, it you know how it is. It takes you a while to get into the parking lot.
Sure.
So we had a lot of time to spare. Yeah, and I brought my sunglasses just in case, and I was glad I did, because the sun did pop out again.
Lindsay, typically we talk about normal temperatures, and I think they're right around 80 for this time of year. Are there normal?
You're exactly right.
Are there normal dew points as well? Is that kind of a common thing? Because you mentioned this fluctuation.
Right. And actually, I wish that was something that was tracked. Like, unless I would go ahead and start collecting it now. But normal dews aren't really, I know when they're high and I know when they're low. I would say what people are looking for when they tell me, can we get normal humidity? They're looking for those dry days, and as we warm up, we're probably going to have more of these humid summers, I would say those dews probably in the low 60s. It's probably going to be more of a normal thing for us. It's when we get to those 70s and 80s that is super abnormal for us to get that soupy, But everyone wants those 50s. 50s are what we are all chasing.
Well, I like it. I like the rest of the week. Looks very nice. Today included. We'll keep an eye out for tomorrow. We'll check it again soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay.
You bet, guys.
It's 1:44 here on WTMJ.
At Big Fish Contracting, we want every home project to be a good story worth sharing. That's why we as a team aim to exceed your expectations. We can improve any aspect of your home. Everything from a complex remodel to the essential roof, gutters, siding, and windows. Integrity, humility, and kindness are why we've grown in southeastern Wisconsin for the last 2 decades. Visit bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
Happening now, it's Steinhoffel's Labor Day sale. It's one of the best times of the year to save. Get up to 30% off furniture and home decor. Plus, incredible deals on top mattress brands like Beauty Rest, Tempur-Pedic, Helix, and more. And for a limited time, when you test rest a Beauty Rest Black mattress, you'll get a free $25 gas card just for giving it a try. Hurry into your nearest Steinhoffel showroom. Tell them Jessica Ty sent you, or shop online at steinhoffels.com.
It's a summer of big wins with WinFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Just play with your Potawatomi Rewards card for entries and your chance to win cash and reward play all summer long. Then keep the excitement going because all your monthly drawing entries roll over into the WinFest final drawings on September 25th, where you could win cars, dream vacations, free play, and cash. Don't miss out on WinFest only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hi, guys. This is the Rocket Roger Clemens. You don't pitch in the majors for 24 years without feeling it later. Shoulders, elbows, knees. Trust me, pain doesn't retire when you do.
That's baseball legend Roger Clemens.
I tried the ice. I tried rest, PT. Nothing really worked. When I heard about QC Kinetics, the concept sounded promising. Non-surgical regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself without surgery. Sign me up. Just what I needed. Real lasting relief.
Whether you're a former pro, a weekend golfer, or just want to walk around pain-free again, QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge technology and natural biologics to help restore and repair damaged tissue.
I trusted them with my joints. Now I'm back doing what I love.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Hey, reminder, it is summer storm season, and weather damage can be a real issue at the house. So if you think you've got a problem, remember, Tri-County Contracting gives free estimates on any potential wind or hail damage. And here's the best part, they can always work directly with your insurance. It's Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again, even during the storm season, with Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
The family-owned Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring line cooks, dishwashers, and third-shift cleaners. You'll make real money in a fun, busy atmosphere. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today and start next week. Visit MineShaftRestaurant.com. For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
We have an update on that Milwaukee couple competing to be America's favorite couple. Variety magazine is putting on this competition. Well, thanks in part to you voting, Matt and Katie Torres moved into the top 5 of their group. But then, Greg, they just learned they've now been eliminated.
Oh, gosh, no. What happened? Not enough voters?
Bummer. I was really cheering for them. When Matt joined us on Wisconsin's Midday News, he told us the relationship almost got derailed on date number 1 by a mozzarella stick.
I took a bite, and I took half of it and went right down and got lodged immediately. And they say, never run away, never go to the bathroom. That's what I did. And I went to the bathroom, and I could see myself turning blue close to a minute in, and I had to Heimlich myself eventually to get the mozzarella stick out and took a big breath in and looked in the mirror at the restaurant, happy to be alive, and noticed that my dress shirt had a collar of sweat.
Oh, no.
Great look for a first date.
How Wisconsin is that first date story? A mozzarella stick.
Of course it's a mozzarella stick. A pickled mushroom would have been second on my list of guesses. Oh, my goodness.
Well, despite the ordeal, Katie did agree to a second date. Nearly 20 years of marriage and 2 kids later, Matt says they figured, why not take a shot at the title?
My whole family's a little bit nerdy, but I'm extra nerdy. And I follow Jeff Goldblum. There's a picture from Jurassic Park right there on social media, and he's involved in the contest. And I'm like, we're a great couple. We could be America's favorite couple. We're fun people. We're funny people. We have a great love story. Plus, I'd love to meet Jeff Goldblum, and there's some prize money that would do my family a lot of good, so why not go for it? We have to apply. We've got a shot at this. We're great.
Yeah, and we were really rooting for him because he told us he is a huge Jeff Goldblum fan. In addition to becoming America's favorite couple, the winner also gets $20,000 and a dinner date in the Hollywood Hills with actor Jeff Goldblum and his wife, Emily. So we really wanted them, because Greg, that we were going to have them back on the show and have them tell us all about that dinner date in Hollywood Hills.
We had it all laid out, right? I mean, it really checks all the boxes for him, right? You could win a little prize money, be nationally recognized, dinner with the Goldblums. I don't know how you go wrong.
Oh, maybe next year, guys. Maybe next year. But that was fun. We love learning about this couple. And I didn't know this initially, but Matt wrote me a nice note thanking us for having him on. And he said, WTMJ has been a staple in my life for longer than I can remember. Thank you for all you've given the community for so long. Thank you for letting me come on, yada, yada, yada. But WTMJ, a staple in his life for longer than he can remember. So we were happy to be a part of this, and we know a lot of you. I mean, that day when we had them on, many of you were texting, and you wanted to vote, and I know a lot of you voted for them, and that is what helped propel them, because he didn't know if they were going to go through to the next round. But thanks to many of you, they did get propelled into that top 5 of their group, but then they just missed it. They placed third in their group.
Well, that's too bad. But hey, it was a good run.
Yeah, learning experience for next year, from third to first.
It's 1:51 here on WTMJ. Got a very busy 2 o'clock hour coming up. More after this.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wicker, Chief Homebuyer Helper with Wisconsin's own Accident Mortgage. Nicer homes are still getting multiple offers over asking, and there's only one winner per listing. I want to help you be that winner, which is why I just increased the rock-solid pre-approval guarantee to $10,000. It's all about getting the seller to pick your offer over the others. So AccuNet is now guaranteeing in writing to pay the seller $10,000 American bucks if we can't make good on the terms of your fully verified rock-solid pre-approval. Banks don't do that. We're willing to stand behind our work and stand behind you with a $10,000 guarantee that sellers will definitely notice. Maybe you've been writing offers and losing, which feels terrible, or maybe you're just starting out. Either way, don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval and let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Give the seller 10,000 reasons to say yes to your offer with AccuNet's new $10,000 rock-solid seller guarantee. Get started with yours today at accunet.com.
Well, the story of Horicon Bank is an amazing story, founded by inventors, fueled by community, focused on business. That's Horicon Bank in a nutshell. Well, what does it mean? Well, it means Horicon Bank first opened its doors back in 1896, and they are still serving the community. All the communities where you find a branch of Horicon Bank, they are helping serve you with financing requests that can be approved in days, not weeks. Your banker at Horicon understands you and your business. Maybe you're trying to get that first checking or savings account off and running for a loved one. They can help you with that as well. Securing a mortgage, great rates. You've got it at Horicon Bank. Check them out in Horicon, the original branch, or with branches now opening in New Berlin and Wauwatosa, Menominee Falls, and Grafton, and even West Bend. Horicon Bank is in more places now than ever. It's Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. And member FDIC.
The stories you're talking about on Wisconsin's Morning News.
The I-94 reconstruction project through Milwaukee's west side could potentially take a couple of extra years.
Costs can go up. I'll give you some room on that.
That's always going to happen, right?
Going to happen. Okay, fine. But the idea on the timeline, we only studied this project for 20 years.
The key phrase is potential delay. There are some ways they can reconfigure, maybe speed up one portion of the phases.
Okay, let's do that.
Only here on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
So it still shocks me that here we are 30 years later, and we're talking about opening statements beginning in Las Vegas in the murder trial for Tupac Shakur. 30 years later, almost exactly 30 years later. And there is progress on this today. At trial today is a guy named Dwayne Keefe D. Davis. He used to be a gang leader. At one point, he was granted immunity in this case, but he was arrested in 2023 in Vegas and he has been in police custody ever since. Also in Vegas is ABC's Alex Stone.
One is that they couldn't use a lot of what Dwayne Davis was saying because he had this immunity deal until they figured out a way where they say that the immunity deal no longer covered him. So he was talking to police at a task force in L.A. He was talking to police here in Las Vegas, helping them out on this case as being a party who was in the Cadillac that night, allegedly. He said he was. And that they weren't able to go after him, and everybody else in the Cadillac is dead. Everybody else who was involved. So now they're able to go after him and get that indictment.
Well, you know, people are saying, well, what about the books that were written and all that kind of stuff? And he said, look, that he didn't even know the book was written. I've been in jail. I don't know what's going on in this book. Things that I said were used. These are misconstrued. I didn't do it. I didn't do it 30 years later. If you grew up in the MTV generation, and I certainly did, MTV was at the peak of its popularity when I was growing up. This is how you learned about Tupac Shakur and his death roughly 30 years ago. It was on MTV before it was pretty much anywhere else. And I remember watching the coverage like, wait, what happened here?
And they did have a news segment. I can't remember the man's name, but I can actually picture him when he would come on and give those quick little news updates on MTV.
Yeah, Kurt Loder was the guy's
that was
name.
his name.
He's like the most trusted voice on MTV. And I know that sounds kind of strange, but he also famously was behind the anchor desk, for lack of a better term, when Kurt Cobain died out in Seattle, living in a home with Courtney Love. So it shocks me that 30 years later, and this case is still relevant today.
Well, in the update today, in court today, you had both sides that have now given opening statements, and prosecutors called Shakur's 1996 killing an act of revenge. They said Davis showed visceral anger at Shakur for years. The defense is arguing that there's just a lack of facts in the case.
Yeah, I don't know where this goes or how long it's going to last, but here we are 30 years later. You've got opening statements in a case from the 1990s. Pretty amazing. 156 on WTMJ. Coming up in the 2 o'clock hour, some interesting news here from the Universities of Wisconsin system. They're pledging to put a hold on tuition increases for a couple years, but their pledge requires the state to kick in just to make sure that the cost of operations for operating all these universities doesn't go under here, and you're working with a budget deficit. So very interesting news here from the Universities of Wisconsin system. If you have a son or daughter or somebody in your family who is looking at one of those universities or maybe enrolled at one of those universities, you'll want to be around for our conversation coming up at about 2:35. Coming up.
How do you know if you're truly ready to retire? Hi, I'm Tony Drake, certified financial planner and founder of Drake & Associates right here in Wisconsin. Many people focus on just one number, how much they've saved. But retirement readiness is about much more than a balance in your accounts. It's about having a clear plan for income, investments, taxes, healthcare, and how your money will support the lifestyle you want. Without that coordination, even a large nest egg can run into problems over time. At Drake & Associates, we help families create retirement plans designed to answer the big question, will your income last? Are you taking too much risk? And are there opportunities to reduce taxes along the way? To help you start thinking through those questions, I've created a complimentary retirement toolkit. It includes my book, Get Retirement Ready, and 5 practical guides covering investments, taxes, and retirement income strategies. Call 414-897-9522.
Well, big thanks to Inspired Closets Milwaukee for doing an incredible transformation on our master closet. Greg Matzik here, Inspired Closets Milwaukee, rescued us. We were trying to do the best we could with builder-grade racking and some clunky furniture, clothes and shoes that were sort of on display and never really folded, never looking nice. It was a disaster area, and I don't like clutter, so this was a problem for me. We kept trying to organize and reorganize, but all we did was kind of move our messes. You know what I'm talking about here. Inspired Closets Milwaukee said, we got your back. They came to the house, took some measurements, and had a beautiful design within a matter of a few days. And within a matter of a couple of weeks, we were standing inside a brand newly transformed master closet. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And they can do anything to really declutter and organize your space. You will feel better about your home after you connect with Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Katie and Dan, a wife and husband team, have been transforming closets and pantries and mudrooms and laundry rooms. Ask what they can do in your garage for years. And they've got the best materials, great installation teams, and wonderful ideas for you. Visit InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 18th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battled the Seattle Mariners.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in August 18th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Save now during the Ken Michaels Furniture Labor Day sale.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, August 17th. Your top story, a major traffic headache continues in Washington County.
I'm Jessica Ty. New details about the sudden death of a Hollywood actress.
Beautiful day today, high 80 degrees, partly cloudy tonight, low 64, comfortable conditions. More humid on Tuesday, some afternoon storms are possible with a high of 82. It's 75 right now in Milwaukee at 2:01. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, it's a $5,000 cash bond for a Milwaukee woman accused of hiding a man charged in a deadly shooting spree.
Elena Cole is charged with 1 felony count of harboring or aiding a felon and 3 misdemeanor counts of child neglect. A judge found probable cause to continue holding Cole after her initial appearance Monday. She pleaded not guilty to the 3 child neglect charges and was ordered to have no contact with her children or the alleged shooter, Thomas Zollicoffer. Cole was ordered to remain sober and placed under supervision if released. Her next court date is next Monday. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
A serious crash this morning involving 2 semis and 4 cars shuts down southbound 41 near Slinger.
One vehicle pinned vertically between multiple others with 3 passengers inside of it, at least 1 child there conscious and talking.
That's dispatch audio courtesy of Broadcastify. The Waukesha County, the Washington County Sheriff's Office says 5 adults and an infant were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. That backup followed an earlier deadly motorcycle crash on 41 near Richfield. Investigators say a 57-year-old man died at the scene. Southbound 41 near Slinger is expected to remain closed for at least another half hour yet.
Dallas-based Jacob Solutions could become the new operator of the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District.
An ad hoc committee recommended Jacobs for a new 10-year contract to run MMSD over Veolia North America, which has done the work since 2008. Veolia's work is under scrutiny from advocacy group Common Ground, who alleges the operator is mismanaging wastewater treatment facilities, allegations Veolia denies. A third-party audit of Veolia by MMSD is also ongoing. Monday's recommendation is not the final piece of the puzzle. The full MMSD Commission will decide who between Jacobs and Veolia will receive the contract offer in September. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A number of U.S. states are suing Meta in the biggest social media trial yet. The proceedings get underway tomorrow in California. ABC's Jim Ryan.
With a jury now seated, a trial in California accusing Meta of getting kids hooked on platforms like Instagram and Facebook is set to start Tuesday. Several states are involved. Financial damages against Meta could hit $1.4 trillion.
Wisconsin is one of the 29 states involved in that federal lawsuit.
New autopsy results on the body of actress Hayden Panettiere, who died Sunday at the age of 36.
The Greenville County Coroner's Office confirms that on August 16th, paramedics were called to a home for a woman in cardiac arrest. They initiated life-saving measures, but she died at 2:32 in the afternoon. The woman, identified as Hayden Panettiere, was staying at that home temporarily, the statement says. There were no signs of trauma, but the exact cause of death is pending further investigation.
This coming Friday would have been her 37th birthday. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Kind of a sluggish start to the week here. All the indices in the red this afternoon. The Dow is off about 250 points at 53,475. NASDAQ down about 70 at 26,660. And the S&P 500 is down about 35 points today at 7752. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Another comeback. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
As the kiddos get ready to get back to school, you can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing, too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Griffin's Hub. If you've been waiting for the right time to upgrade your ride, this is it. Griffin's Hub is making August a huge month to save. Right now, you can lease a brand new Jeep Cherokee 4x4 Laredo for just $381 a month for 42 months with $39.99 down plus tax and fees with approved credit. That's an outstanding way to get behind the wheel of a legendary Jeep. Or if you've had your eye on a new truck, check this out. Griffin's Hub has a 2026 Ram Rebel for just $59,340. That's an incredible $18,000 off MSRP. One of the biggest savings you'll see all year on a Ram Light Duty. Whether you're looking for SUV capability or truck toughness, Griffin's Hub has the deals to get you moving. Visit Griffin's Hub today or shop online at griffinshubchryslerjeepdodge.com. But don't wait. August offers end August 31st. See Griffin's Hub for complete details. Offers available with approved credit, lease, and purchase offer. Expires August 31st, 2026.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Tacklers wanted. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur says the competition at cornerback is open in Green Bay.
Obviously, it starts with doing your right assignment, and then it comes down to your style of play. How are you competing, going after the ball, not only in the pass game, but in the run game as well? Are you sticking your nose in there? And we need corners that are willing and capable tacklers.
A Pro Bowl cornerback last season, Keyshawn Nixon, is spending time practicing with the second team defense at times during camp.
I guess I'm being punished right now. I don't know. I don't really worry about what I'm running in the camp, ones or twos. I just keep my process and just compete.
The preseason continues Friday night in Denver against the Broncos. After taking 3 of 4 against the Dodgers in Los Angeles, the Brewers begin a 6-game homestand Tuesday night against the Mariners. Final game of that homestand will be played against the Braves in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I have an update for you in Washington County. It looks like happening now. Emergency responders are opening up 41 where that crash was earlier. So 41 South at County K has been closed for hours now. But it looks like they have just opened up one of the lanes. Traffic is now moving through. This is a great new development. So I-41 South at County K, only the left lane is now closed because of a crash. Traffic now moving through. Let's go ahead and take a peek closer down to the Milwaukee area because we did have some issues there as well. We did have a crash that remains. I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard. Left shoulder still blocked because of a car involved in that crash. And we are seeing delays right around that area because we typically see delays 94 westbound around the ballpark because of the construction, but even more so right now because of that car that was involved in the crash. I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard.
Mixture of sun and clouds today, high 80 degrees. Comfortable conditions, overnight low 64. More muggy on Tuesday with a chance of afternoon showers and a high of 83. 75 the high on Wednesday. It's 74 right now in Milwaukee at 209.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
So I mentioned the final game of the Brewers homestand is going to be in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. So they technically lose a home game because it's a neutral site, but it's all part of the Little League World Series. So think about that, right? Your team qualifies, you're playing in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and here come two big league teams to play on a historic field out in that area as part of your whole deal, trying to play for a world's title.
We were really hoping that Whitefish Bay was going to be there. Oh, and there was a little bit of a comeback there too, but then in the end, they just couldn't squeak it out.
That would have been amazing, right? You go out there, you participate, and then you get to see the Brewers play the Atlanta Braves. Pretty amazing stuff. So that'll be a fun way to cap off the homestand, which begins on Tuesday.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, the military rebounds from post-pandemic recruiting troubles. The Trump administration has argued the surge reflects confidence in its leadership. But that's not what people signing up are saying. Details from ABC's Steve Bainon in Washington.
For most recruits, the decision is overwhelmingly economic, helping pay for college, healthcare, and above all, a reliable career. That pattern has held for decades, and recruiting has historically benefited when the civilian economy is a little tougher. The harder problem for the Pentagon is finding enough people who can qualify. That's the biggest hurdle. Only 1 in 4 young Americans are estimated to be eligible to enlist, with an obesity epidemic and low scores on the military's entrance exam. That's sort of styled like an SAT.
That pattern that he mentioned, recruits overwhelmingly joining the military for the college benefits, healthcare, and a career, that's a pattern that stood up even during wartime.
Number 2, remember talking to Mike Dubusky about his electronic vehicle made by Ferrari?
Yes.
Right, it was sort of a brief discussion, and then we laughed at the price tag. Well, an early example of Ferrari's divisive new EV just sold for monster money at auction.
Not everyone loved the Ferrari Luce when the car was first unveiled earlier this year, with detractors criticizing its design and electric powertrain. Former Ferrari CEO Luca de Montezemolo even said it risks destroying a legend. But over the weekend at an RM Sotheby's auction in Monterey, California, an anonymous bidder paid $40 million for one. That puts the Luce in the running for the most expensive Ferrari to ever sell at auction, and likely the most anyone's ever paid for an electric car. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
I think Mike can remove the word likely from that report. $40 million?
That's unbelievable.
For an electric Ferrari, if it has a battery in it, more than likely the battery's going to die, so it's depreciating an asset like nothing else. But yes, I think that is a safe assumption that it was the most expensive vehicle ever purchased at $40 million.
Coming up, flock cameras can tell police where your car has been, but who's watching the officers doing the searching? The Milwaukee Police Department built a new audit that looks for unusual activity, and a man who helped create it joins us next. It's 2:12.
Ridgetop Exteriors. Trusted, local, affordable. Thinking about a new roof? New siding? New windows? Think Ridgetop Exteriors, your trusted local experts. We've been doing this for over 25 years, and we're good at it. Just ask our 40,000 satisfied customers. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, we handle it all. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com for your free estimate. No pressure, just honest answers. Ridgetop Exteriors. Trusted, local, affordable.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Set sail with the cruise line perfect for explorers. Fox World Travel invites you to discover the world with Holland America Line. From the majestic glaciers of Alaska to the historic ports of Europe, experience premium mid-sized ships, world-class dining, and captivating live music. Whether you are planning for late this year or ahead into 2027, your perfect voyage is waiting. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to book today.
There's not a bad time to better insulate your home, but there is a better time, and it's right now. Vince Vitrano here just talked with Jeff from USA Insulation. Jeff says they always get busy in the fall and early winter as everyone's concerned about keeping their houses warm. But doing a project with USA Insulation does just as well to keep your house cooler in the summer months and saving you money on your electric bills. Tell Jeff Vinny told you want the government rebates and discounts that can save you thousands on your project. Get started at USA Insulation. Installation.net.
Looking to build or remodel? Then don't miss the 80th MBA Parade of Homes presented by Nuns. Explore 17 extraordinary homes in 2 locations, Quiet Wood in Menominee Falls and the Snyder Farm in Oconomowoc. Each home showcases premium craftsmanship and design shaped for the way you want to live. Walk through spaces that spark ideas, elevate expectations, and inspire your next chapter. The parade runs August 15th through September 7th. For tickets and locations, visit mbaparadeofhomes.com.
Little mix of sun and clouds today, high 80 degrees, overnight low 64 degrees, pleasant conditions, low humidity, relatively low dew point. It changes on Tuesday, however, more muggy conditions, chance of afternoon showers, maybe a rumble of thunder at a high of 83. 78 the high on Wednesday, 78 the high on Thursday. It's 75, partly cloudy right now in Milwaukee at 214.
There is growing scrutiny nationwide over flock safety's network of license plate reading cameras. Over the weekend, an anti-flock protest in Fargo, North Dakota turned physical. And in Hood County, Texas, officials shut down and covered their flock cameras amid concerns about privacy and mass surveillance. Here in Milwaukee, 2 members of the Milwaukee Police Department have already been charged with misusing the flock system. Late last week, we told you Flock itself is rolling out new safeguards. The Milwaukee Police Department is reviewing those as we speak, but has already created a new audit to identify potentially suspicious searches. James Lewis is the Milwaukee Police Department's risk manager, and he helped develop that audit. He joins us live in the studio. Thanks for being here.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
2 Milwaukee police officers, or members of the police department specifically, have been criminally charged, accused of misusing the technology. When this happens twice inside one department, is it still fair to characterize this as an individual misconduct problem, or does that tell you that there was a weakness in the system itself?
I think that when you are faced with those types of conduct in the department, what it shows is that the controls that were in place prior to our audit weren't necessarily as robust as they need to be in order to have that accountability and transparency to the public, and also the oversight that we want to see from professional level, high-functioning police departments.
But it allowed you to go back and sort of make a correction, right? So it's now more challenging. There are more steps. There's guardrails in place, something that maybe you could have anticipated at the start, but sometimes it's hard to assume what people are going to do until it's actually done. So was the system, the overall system, able to be manipulated easily enough to account for what happened?
When you're talking about manipulation, I think what our audit's focused on is looking at testing whether or not law enforcement purposes and the documented reasons why an officer would be using a plate and querying it and trying to see what the system could return, is that meets the legitimate expectation. And so what we realized through the stories that have happened here, but also just across the country, are that the guidelines that are provided just by the vendor weren't enough to necessarily catch and hold us accountable. And so we created our own system that uses outlier data. It uses some of the things from our own experience with officers misusing this system to give us a better picture each month of what's happening, and then track officers over time to see if their use is consistent with how they typically track a car, or what their peers are doing out in the field.
You told the Fire and Police Commission that when you built the new audit, you looked specifically at the previous misuse and asked what behavior would have allowed us to identify this. It was a really interesting meeting. I went through it the other night and listened to a lot of what you had to say. I'm wondering, now that a second officer has been charged, have you gone back and tested your new audit against both cases? Would it have flagged that today?
Yes, it would have. And actually, part of our audit is what helped to catch the second officer. So in a sense, that audit and the robustness of it did work to catch additional bad actors. But what we are looking at is not just could it catch that case, but it could catch as many of the conceivable things as possible. And are the representations that are being entered into the system consistent with the other records we keep? So if you're using a case number, does something in that case relate to the vehicle that you've queried? And that's what we are asking our frontline supervision to do once the data-directed audit is sent to the work location, is to actually unpack that case and tell us back, how did this car relate to this investigation, and what tools did we use, and what were these outcomes?
So typically it's a multi-pronged process to try and make sure this is being used as intended. Was access too great for the department? Did that need to be restricted to certain individuals instead of a larger group?
I don't know if it's necessarily that binary to say what the right number is. I think that when you're having rules and policies, it's always important to make sure that you have metrics against those policies so that you can hold people accountable, but also see if those are the right policies. And so I don't think it's necessarily just a quantitative, this is the right number. I think what we're looking for in officers who are using this type of technology is, how does this best support you and your function? And does your function have a need for it? Most of the officers who have access to this are in these positions of doing these front level investigations, responding to stolen vehicles, abductions, shootings, homicides, things like that. We also have our Criminal Investigations Bureau who are doing work after things have happened to try to piece together who did what and bring people to justice. And so this tool leverages those positions. And so it's not necessarily like a number is the right number, but it's really a needs-based. And then also, are you following the rules? Because what we want to see is officers using this technology to leverage public safety. And if they're using it in a way that is inconsistent with our expectations, we want to be able to have pretty quick near-time responses to that and cut their access, follow through disciplinary channels, give everybody due process to see, what the right outcomes for those things are. But you can't do that if you're not using, some sort of metric or audit feature to hold your officers accountable to the policies that we've given them.
We're talking with James Lewis. He is the risk manager for the Milwaukee Police Department. I reached out to the Milwaukee Police Department Thursday, immediately after Flock had announced these changes. And the immediate response was, we are aware of the changes and we are reviewing basically what we have done to compare. Now that there have been a couple of days since then, I'm curious if you have had a chance to look at the changes that Flock is recommending and will slowly be implementing. And if there's anything where you saw something, you said, yeah, you know what, we need that in Milwaukee. Because I know something you have said is that this audit is not set in stone.
Yeah, so our ability to audit and continue to find ways to find outliers or find data points that are interesting to look at to say we should spend more time on this particular case or this particular officer, that's been a product that we created internally at the department, and we actually showed Flock in some of these conversations the tool that we built to say, hey, this is what we've done in response to these problems. So part of what this vendor has done is they've shown how their license plate reader system can be, used in a way to bring departments more surety to their audits. What I've seen in it is I still like our product a little bit better, the one that we created, because it gives me a more tailored to Milwaukee specific officers ways to assess what they're doing against their peers. And I think that the vendor for this product may get there, but I think we're still above and beyond what they offer in their audit product. And so while it is a good thing, I think nationally to bring this more on board to departments across the country, the system that we're using here is certainly one that we've built ourselves. We have a high degree of confidence in, and we're always going to be tracking what the vendor's doing and offering, and seeing if that's something that we would either onboard or use their product for.
So you said you showed Flock what you created at the Milwaukee Police Department.
Correct, at a high level.
And what was the response?
You're the only department we know of that has this.
That was going to lead into my next question. I'm wondering, because the technology is so new, right? But I'm assuming states that are using this technology are uncovering a set of problems on their own. Oh, we didn't see that coming, or we got to figure out how to solve this. I'm wondering if you have emerged as sort of a best practices leader, or if you've collaborated with other departments to arrive at your own conclusions.
Yeah, it's certainly something that we always strive to be on the cutting edge of best practices, and I'm not going to put Milwaukee out against, and it's not a competition against other departments, but I think that the response that we've had to this, given how close this hit to home and how much we think that this leverages public safety, that's a conversation that's been guided by community members through the Fire and Police Commission, through elected officials. They want to see robust accountability. They want to make sure that we know what's happening with it. And, perfection is something to strive for. It's not always going to happen. I think what we're tested on, though, is how we respond when things don't go the right way and what we build to ensure that those same mistakes don't happen over and over. What we're trying to do is, assess failures and make sure that they can't be replicable, or that we can at least get in front of them if people decide to, abuse their positions of power or misuse this system for things that it's not intended for. We're stewards of the public dollar. We're stewards of public trust. We're stewards of public safety. And so whenever we fall short of those things, we always need to be reassessing, and we need to be coming back with solutions to those problems. And I think that we've done that here. I think we're also going to be learning more as other departments uncover things or go through their processes. If a different department has a better way of doing something that can be added to this, it's certainly open. That's why it's not set in stone. Is we want to continue to build. We want to continue to have accountability, and also giving our officers confidence that this tool is getting a lot of scrutiny. We can tell whether you're using it right or wrong, and that can help them do better out in the field.
So what would you say to somebody who's listening right now, and we have people not just in Milwaukee, but across the state and across the country streaming with us, if they say, okay, 2 Milwaukee officers criminally charged, and then they conclude the problem isn't whether MPD has a better audit that we're talking about, police simply shouldn't have the ability to search where someone's vehicle has been without a warrant. What do you say to that crop of people?
I think that is certainly something that when we're having conversations about civics is a conversation and a point of view that you have to anticipate. I think that there's always, when it comes to technology, when it comes to policing, there's always going to be people who say, hey, you shouldn't be doing this, or this is the right fit. And I think that those voices are important. And so I would encourage those people to continue on this topic. I think everybody gets better when we talk about this kind of thing and unpack what it actually is. And excluding people because the viewpoint may be different than mine or the department's is counterproductive, especially in a democratic society where we're always accountable. And as stewards of the public dollar and public trust, we have to be able to have those types of conversations. So I think I invite those people to continue to look at this product, to look at this system, and challenge departments on it, because at the end of the day, we should be accountable for the things that we do. And we should be showing the public, the high degree of efficiency that this brings when there are shootings and homicides, to bringing resolution to that. And so, there are instances of misconduct and mistrust here, but the day in, day out operation of this product is bringing a massive impact on public safety here in the city of Milwaukee. We are solving shootings. We are solving homicides. We are bringing people to justice using this product, and we're putting it in the criminal complaints. We're not hiding behind that we use this product. This is an out-front product, and it is getting us very high quality arrests. And where there are problems, we want to improve. And where we're making impacts, we want to continue to have that impact.
We have just about 60 seconds left here to kind of close this up a little bit. If another Milwaukee officer intentionally uses Flock to track somebody for a personal reason today, how confident are you that this current audit will catch it, and how quickly would it do so?
So the audit cadence is once a month. And the reason we do that is because the patterns and trends that come from that kind of data set really help us decide what outlier use looks like. And so where officers are querying cars over multiple days and maybe associating them with more than 1 or 2 case numbers, that certainly gives us a lot to look into. I think you're always trying to hedge against what a bad actor may do. And so there's no guarantee you can give to anybody on any given day about what a bad actor might do. What we have built here, though, is built with those bad actors in mind. And I do have a high degree of confidence that where we're going to see problems, it will show up in the data. And then it will be a further investigation to sort of peel back the onion and see what we have. And I think that this tool is really helpful for accountability.
Really important insight. That is the risk manager for the Milwaukee Police Department, James Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us here in Wisconsin's Midday News.
Thank you for having me.
It's coming up on 128. Up next, local news and your top national headlines.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities, where senior living's our expertise. Caring staff that help you when you need. Enjoy life at Capri, making friends and memories. Living life to the fullest, you will love your new home.
Well, get ready for a festival lineup like no other. It's called WinFest. It's at Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee now through September. All you got to do is play with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries. If you're not a rewards card member, no problem. Sign up at the casino. It's free. Got to be 21 years or older to participate. All those monthly promo entries count toward the finale drawing. That'll be September 25th. It's a Friday. Get it on the calendar. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 years or older and a rewards member to play.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Is this one of those viral pranks?
Beg your pardon?
I think you promote Hasselus Mattresses employee-free showrooms just to lure me in so you can film a practical joke on me to go viral.
Sir, I assure you, we take employee-free mattress shopping very seriously.
What do? Tie me to a bed and spray me with silly string?
We simply let you try our selection of Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more without commission-crazy salespeople breathing down your neck.
Good one.
Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beautyrest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,599, but Hasselus has it for just $794.
Sure you do.
And through Monday, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of a select Sealy Posturepedic or Beautyrest mattress, plus free next-day delivery.
So shopping at Hasselus won't make me TikTok famous?
Absolutely not.
Darn.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
Get your final August plans in for Brewers Rangers Action Friday, August 28th through Sunday the 30th. Starting with the Cole Swindell post-game concert at Country Music Night on Friday, featuring a belt buckle with a special ticket. Then it's Jackson Churio Mania. Get the Churio Bowl giveaway Saturday, courtesy of 620 WTMJ. And get it on the Final Kids Cheer Free Sunday before summer ends. Kids get a Churio Height poster on Sunday, courtesy of Joy. Get tickets for it all at brewers.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga. Nobody likes backups, not on I-94 and definitely not in your own backyard. That's why I'm so glad we called Comfort Awnings. Now our outdoors time isn't delayed by rain or the scorching afternoon sun. One touch of a button gives us instant shade and shelter while also protecting us from harmful UV rays. So instead of heading inside when it gets too hot or starts to rain, we can enjoy the patio for longer. Don't let any more of the summer pass you by. Right now, get $200 off any awning or screen. Call 414-Awnings or visit comfortawnings.com.
Just doing some roofing on another lovely Wisconsin day. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, it's just roofing done the old-fashioned way. Do you need shingles? Let's mingle, for a Wisconsin tradition never dwindles. So raise a glass, shake a hand for this old-fashioned brand. That's old-fashioned roofing.
Earn now, spend later at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Now through August 26th, rewards members earn $10 in Blaine's Bucks for every $100 spent in store. Redeemable just like cash September 3rd to the 16th. Right now, save $5 on estate lawn fertilizer, weed and feed, or winterizer. Rewards members save an extra $5. Plus, new and only at Blaine's, Ever Elm women's tees are on sale for just $9.99. Earn Blaine's Bucks now to spend later, just like cash. Only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story, new details in last month's hostage situation at the Waukesha Meijer.
I'm Jessica Ty. The squeeze is getting tighter on I-94.
Mix of sun and clouds, high of 80 degrees, overnight low 64, chance of storms on Tuesday. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, new details on a hostage situation and police shooting at the Meijer grocery store in Waukesha.
Identify the suspect as 21-year-old Anthony Lehman, who they say held the 59-year-old man hostage while armed with a knife and a clamp tool fitted with 2 razor blades. Police say the victim was trying to defend himself and others when an officer fired at Lehman because of the immediate threat. One round unintentionally struck the victim's hand. The injury is not life-threatening, and the victim has been released from the hospital. Lehman is expected to face several charges this week, including reckless injury, false imprisonment, and terrorist threats. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
At least one police officer was hurt as multiple fights broke out on the final night at the Wisconsin State Fair.
All right, we're moving in with the horses. Large fight.
Scanner audio from Broadcastify and video on social media shows a large number of West Dallas police responding to the Spin City area on the fairgrounds last night. Multiple fights broke out, officers chasing after people as they tried to clear the area. Dispatch audio also indicates one officer was apparently punched in the face during the incident. Police have not said whether anyone else was injured or whether any arrests were made. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
The universities of Wisconsin are proposing a 2-year tuition freeze as part of its next state budget request. The 4-year tuition pledge would freeze tuition beginning in 2027 if the state provides $190 million to help cover operating costs. UW leaders would then limit tuition increases to the rate of inflation for the following 2 years. More details from Board of Regents President Kyle Weatherly coming up in just minutes here on WTMJ.
Local businesses are getting some tariff relief after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down some of President Trump's most sweeping tariffs. Tens of thousands have applied for refunds, but that doesn't mean consumers will see prices go down. Milwaukee Business Journal editor-in-chief Timothy Gibbons telling WTMJ.
There's still so much uncertainty out there. There are new tariffs that have been put into place. Fuel prices have gone up because of the conflict with Iran. Inflation in general is bouncing all over the place. So the companies are basically taking these tariff refunds and are using that to kind of keep their powder dry for the future.
Wisconsin businesses are getting about $350 million in refunds.
And the I-94 West leg moves into its next construction phase, beginning this evening with eastbound traffic dropping from 3 lanes to 2.
This lane reduction runs between 70th Street and General Mitchell Boulevard. Wisconsin DOT's Eric Hansen says the space will be used for the next piece of construction.
This closure is scheduled to remain through later this fall, and this will give us a work zone to place permanent concrete pavement for the future eastbound lanes.
No worries so far for the folks headed in the other direction.
For I-94 westbound through the corridor, that traffic will remain in its current configuration.
Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News time is 2:35.
I'm with Eric, Director of Research for Good Karma Brands. They have business technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Eric, what does partner mean to you?
Partner isn't just out for them. The partner cares about how we solve our problems, and it can be a mutually beneficial relationship from there on.
And I understand throughout the more than 15-year partnership between Good Karma Brands and James Imaging Systems, you have shared many core values.
Absolutely. Work hard, be honest, over-deliver, follow through, listen, teamwork.
Eric, summarize your overall business technology partnership with James Imaging Systems for me.
Outstanding. As we've grown tremendously and you guys have still been able to meet our needs each step of our growth, that's huge.
AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Have you been living with pain and just assuming it's something you have to just live with and accept? Do not. I'm Julia Fellow with WTMJ. If chronic pain is keeping you from enjoying life, I want you to head to Jens Family Chiropractic in Germantown. Jens Family Chiropractic is now offering soft wave tissue regeneration therapy. It's an advanced, non-invasive treatment. It helps your body repair itself naturally. I'm getting that done on my lower back. Soft wave stimulates healing, improves blood flow, and activates your own body's repair cells to target pain at its source. If you're dealing with knee pain, shoulder pain, back pain, do not wait another day. For a limited time, your first soft wave treatment is just $57. This is an incredible opportunity to find out if this breakthrough therapy can help you get back to the things you love, like it did for me. Head to jensfamilychiropractic.com. That's YENTZ familychiropractic.com. Regenerate, recover, live pain-free at jensfamilychiropractic.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. You pack the laptop, the mini fridge, and plenty of snacks as your pride and joy heads off to college. Don't worry, you'll still be their bank, laundromat, occasional restaurant, and hotel of choice. But once your child turns 18, none of that will matter during a hospital stay, banking or insurance issue, lease problem, or while they're studying abroad. Powers of Attorney allows you to continue being there to help your child when they need you the most. Walney Legal Group can help your family with that legal peace of mind. Visit walneylegal.com. That's WALNY legal.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur says the competition at cornerback is open in Green Bay.
Obviously, it starts with doing your right assignment, and then it comes down to your style of play. How are you competing, going after the ball, not only in the pass game, but in the run game as well? Are you sticking your nose in there? And we need corners that are willing and capable tacklers.
Preseason continues on Friday night in Denver against the Broncos. Brewers take 3 of 4 against the Dodgers in Los Angeles and return home, where a 6-game homestand begins Tuesday night against the Mariners. The final game of the homestand will be played against the Braves in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, as part of the MLB Little League Classic in conjunction with the Little League World Series.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I do have an update, and it's not a good one. Unfortunately, we've got a new crash in Milwaukee County. This one is on I-43 South, very close to 9th Street, and the center lane is blocked. I just pulled up the cameras to see exactly what's going on. I said, oh, no. This is not good because, number one, it's in the center lane. It's a semi that's involved in this one. Looks like a semi rear-ended a car. We also have a pickup truck that's behind the semi, but wasn't there before. So I think this pickup truck might just be there right now because it can't move over. You've got people now trying to drive past this crash on each side of it. Or it's possible, because I'm surprised that the pickup truck has not gone over yet, that they're just trying to tell people, hey, heads up, we've got a crash right here, and slow people down. Either way, I can let you know emergency responders are not out there yet. I imagine they will be there very soon. But this is a brand new crash that we have involving a semi. Looks like the semi rear-ended a car on I-43 South, very close to 9th Street. The crash is in the center lane, so this is causing a brand new backup, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. We're also still dealing with a crash on I-94 West at Mitchell Boulevard. The left shoulder is blocked because of that one. And a crash from earlier this morning. Ooh, it looks like that one in Slinger. It looks like that is now open.
80 degrees your high today. A good mix of sun and clouds. Nice day overall. Relatively low humidity. That changes a little on Tuesday. Muggy with a high of 83. Storms are possible in the evening hours. Maybe starting up in the early portion of the afternoon. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, put it on repeat. Temperatures right around 78 to 80 degrees. Good mix of sun and clouds. It's 75 right now in Milwaukee at 240. Oh, it's a needle that university systems across this country wrestle to thread, controlling the cost of higher education while not ignoring rising operational costs. Today, the Universities of Wisconsin is announcing a 4-year tuition pledge aimed at doing just that. Kyle Weatherly is the Universities of Wisconsin Region President and joining us today just moments after the announcement was made. Hi, Kyle.
How you doing, Greg?
I am doing well, so thank you for joining us here. I know this announcement was just made. You've been bopping around the state here from Stevens Point to Green Bay and so on, where state institutions are located. Walk us through the details here. What is the idea behind this 4-year tuition pledge?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, we are pledging, with the help of the state, to say for 2 years we will freeze tuition at current rates, and then for the 2 years following that, we will not increase tuition beyond the rate of inflation. But I need to be very clear about this. It's going to require state support for us to be able to do that.
And I guess that leads to my question. What happens if lawmakers, Kyle, give you less than $190 million? Is this an all in or nothing pledge, or could you still freeze tuition just with a smaller appropriation?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the middle of a process, and even in the early days of a process. So in June, when I became the region president, our first conversation we had with leadership is we wanted a budget that was first bold, but number two, took on the biggest challenges of the state. And we've been talking about these 3 promises, right? Healthcare, economic development, and then today we're talking about affordability, right? This is the start of a conversation. So right now, yes, this is going to be a choice for our legislators and for Wisconsinites. Do we want to invest in the universities in Wisconsin and our students? But no, you can't just expect us to hold tuition constant and still be able to retain staff, increase the quality of education. You can't squeeze water out of a rock.
Well, we tried that, right? I mean, it was in 2013 that 10-year tuition freeze was implemented, but ultimately lifted in 2023, in part to what you just mentioned, Kyle, budget shortfalls. So it was kind of a short-term win for students, but it put serious financial strain on the universities because operational costs were also rising. So I'm sure that's part of the calculus here with how you manage to hold tuition steady, but also need some assistance to make that happen.
Yeah, let me just take a step back, right? We are the most affordable public education option in the Midwest. That's where we are right now. And prior to 2 years ago, we were funded at the 43rd in the country, right? So you put those two things saying we're the most affordable in the Midwest and the public dollars we receive are 43rd. Now, thanks to Governor Ever's support and a compromise deal that he worked with the legislature, we've now moved into the 20s, but we are still from a public support standpoint, in the bottom half, albeit now barely, rather than towards the very bottom of that. So in order to make the math work and to make higher education more affordable in the state of Wisconsin, we need help from Wisconsin taxpayers. And we think it's an incredible investment. A study just came out from UW-Madison that said for every dollar that you invest in the University of Wisconsin, the state taxpayers see a 20x increase.
So you just announced this today. I've got the release in my hands from this afternoon. A lot of people will see it on the nightly news tonight or read it in the headlines tomorrow morning as well. But the bottom line that we're telling you right now, this is a 4-year tuition pledge. You're calling it a 4-year tuition pledge, but tuition is frozen for only the first 2 years. So why call it a 4-year pledge?
Yeah, so there's two parts of that. There's the sort of technical boring part, which is the budget cycle goes in 2-year terms, right? So we're asking for the state to fund this for 2 years. They can't fund it beyond 2 years because we're on a 2-year budget cycle, right? We can, at the same time, as the Board of Regents, commit in years 3 and 4 to say we will only increase tuition by the rate of inflation. So it's just a matter of how our budgeting cycle works.
So Kyle, this, again, just to be clear, this is for in-state people going to college, or what if you're in college already, right? I mean, is there a little bit of overlap if I'm a freshman at UW-Madison or La Crosse or so on? Could my tuition be frozen as part of this deal if I'm an existing student?
Yeah, it's not could, it would. This is for all students, and for someone with sophomore right now, they would catch this at the start of their next year. So they would catch this in the sophomore example for their senior year.
So how much would the average Wisconsin family actually save under this proposal compared with what UW currently expects tuition to be without it? I know what was it at the beginning of the summer? We had a great crop of interns here at Good Karma, and a number of them go to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And we did talk with them about the possibility of tuition going up, and they sat here and they said it is difficult, and they make some choices. I know you talked about how affordable it is and compared to other spots across the Midwest, but you do sit down with some of the kids who are going to the University of Madison right now, and they talked about the challenges that they have and how sometimes they have to make different decisions because how much school is costing them. So when it comes down to dollars and cents, how much would the average Wisconsin family actually save under this proposal? Do you have the numbers?
Let me answer your implied question first, because I think it's really interesting when you talk about your interns, right? Affordability is always in the eye of the beholder, right? So if you're working a job 20 hours a week, you don't have family support, right? Even if we are more affordable than any of our neighboring states, we're still not affordable enough for Wisconsinites and for our kids to sort of chase their dreams, whatever they might be within the universities of Wisconsin, right? So we don't sit here and saying we're the most affordable and saying, okay, we can just stop there.
Sure.
In fact, why we're going to the state is saying we want to become even more affordable, right? In terms of what it is, in terms of money going into the pockets of students, I mean, the simple math on it is we're asking for $190 million. That is $190 million that is going back into the pockets of Wisconsinites.
Cost of living was a big part of that discussion, too, with some of the students that living on campus, which is something that's a little out of control with the Board of Regents here, is also kind of a spiked number in cities like Madison versus some are living in Oshkosh or in Whitewater. Kyle, you mentioned it's at the start of a conversation. What's the next phase of this? You make this announcement today. You've got the 4-year pledge outlined. What is next for you and your group?
Next up for us, if we have our full Board of Regent meeting on Thursday, we're going to hear from chancellors, from students, and from other constituents about how this proposal could affect them. So we're going to hear from people all over the state about why we've talked about this being a choice, of why we think this is an incredible choice and an incredible investment, not only in our kids, but in the entire state of Wisconsin.
Kyle, you also announced today the Wisconsin Work and Learn. What exactly is that? Can you detail that for us?
Yeah, this is, candidly, what I am most excited about within the entire budget. What it says is if your family makes below medium income, so $77,500, we will fund the last dollar of your tuition cost. So basically anything that you don't get in scholarships or grants, if you work your way through college. And to me, that is the most Wisconsin thing in the world, right? It's the ultimate version of someone pulling themselves up from their bootstraps, right? It is saying, if you're willing to take a full load of classes, take on all the challenges of that, and you're willing to have a job as well, if that still doesn't get to a point where you can come out of college debt-free, that we're going to make up that difference. I realize right now we're in a political environment. I view this as the least political thing in the world, that this is us supporting Wisconsinites that are willing to work their way through college and make up the $1,000, the $2,000, the $3,000 gap between what they can contribute and what they get via scholarship and how they can come out of college debt-free.
Announcements made today by the Universities of Wisconsin. Region President Kyle Weatherly joining us here in Wisconsin's Midday News. Kyle, thanks for the announcement or sharing it with us. I know you've been kind of bebopping around the state today, so thanks for making some time for us.
Thank you, Kyle.
Really appreciate it. Talk soon.
Yeah, you bet. It's 2:49 here on WTMJ.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes, redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. And there's just such beauty in it, If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
Bring us your problems, deadlines, complexities, anxieties, distractions, and budget distresses.
Plum Media is listening.
Share with us your creative block.
Plum Media is ready.
Give us your audience with limited time and attention.
Plum Media sets your message free.
Let's get your message heard. Let's strive for retention from beginning to completion. Whether your next event is for celebration, education, motivation, inspiration, Plum Media is waiting to take action.
Professional collaborators, planners, managers. Plum Media, video production and event management.
Plum Media, wow moments, flawless execution, clarity, calm, control.
And results.
Plum Media, a video, meetings, and event producer with global experience. PlumMedia.com.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill is hiring experienced line cooks and dishwashers. You'll make real money. Night and weekend hours are required. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today, start next week. Google and call the Fox and Hounds today.
Well, nice day today. 80 degrees your high and a little mix of sun and clouds. Very pleasant day. Tomorrow, a little more humid and a chance for some thunder showers in the afternoon. Keep an eye on that. Pop-up variety, kind of widespread, but definitely part of the picture here. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday look very nice with temperatures in the mid-70s to low 80s and a mix of sun and clouds. Right now it's 75 degrees in Milwaukee. We're at 252. So I've seen all these studies on what it costs to do the back-to-school shopping, right? And the average parent's going to spend $924 on getting their sons and daughters ready to go back to school. I got to go ahead and say this is like $15,000 is what it feels like. You're buying stuff all day long, it feels like, and now you've got options. So I don't know if it was like this when you were in school, but there is a list. There is a list that the district puts out, and you can buy what's on the list. And some of the grocery stores in our area where we live are very smart because they take that list and they put everything in a row, and you can kind of go through and check off your list very quickly. Some items you may have to scurry around the store to find, but they try and make it easy for parents who are going through the process. And then you have the option of you buy the kit from the school. And the kid says, if you don't want to do the shopping, we just got it all for you, right?
I think that's
just
so
pay
smart.
us and you're done.
They did not have that back when we were in school, but that's been, I don't know, would you say the last 10 years?
Well, I guess that's my frame of reference because that's how long my kids have been in school. One is 11, one is 9, one's going on 20, and the other's going on 10. So it's always been go to the store or you've got the kit option. But more and more I'm realizing we are buying for the class. We are not buying for specifically our daughters. So that pack of erasers, well, you need 12 of them. The pack of highlighters, you need 4 packs, right? You're kind of buying for throughout the year and to supply the general class. There's going to be 26 boxes of Kleenex in my daughter's 4th grade class next year, assuming they have 26 people. But nonetheless, it is something that we look at every year, and instead of taking the easy way out, we go to the store, we carve out a couple hours.
It's kind of fun.
Because it's an experience.
I know some of you are like, no, it's not. But for some people, it's that part of fall. It's that getting ready. It kind of just gets you in the mood. Some people enjoy it. I know some others are like, heck no. Well, let me get the kit.
It used to be that going to the store, and really any store, with our kids was an event. And it was like, whoa, can I just do this on my own? Or do you want to handle it this time? Because you needed kind of the mental break when your kids were toddlers. Any parent knows what I'm talking about here. But more and more, they tie it to like lunch at Chick-fil-A and going to get ice cream at Cops afterwards.
See, that's
and
a
it
fun
becomes
day.
like a day. So I don't mind it from that standpoint. But it is getting increasingly expensive. You talk about the cost of pretty much everything going up in the stores. Well, the cost of getting your kids ready to go back to school, right? You add in a couple of clothes because maybe they outgrew their pants because they grew in the summer. Like,
they're growing fast at that age.
It's just like a thing. And now you're looking at like 4 figures just to get your kids ready to go back to school. So moms and dads, I identify with you. And if I see you at the store, I'll just give you that polite nod. You'll know what I'm talking about. I'll know what you're talking about. And we'll cruise around and find our folders.
So this is not nearly as fun, but when you talk about buying for the classroom, if you need the erasers in bulk or you need this in bulk, have you thought about turning to Amazon?
Well, now again, so therein lies the experience versus non-experience. So do I want to knock it out via Amazon in 4 clicks and I've got everything I need? Or better yet, just through the school system, they've got it all packaged and parsed out for you. Well, yes, that would be very easy to do, but the experience of spending that $611 to $890 in our family, we'd like to do it at the store, apparently.
See, I think you say, okay, girls, you know what? I'm going to go and buy all those erasers for your classroom, all the markers, and you need 26 folders. I'm going to go buy that on Amazon. We're going to get that. It's going to be here tomorrow, and then we have more time to go and spend with you to get that. Culver's ice cream, or what was the other one you wanted to do?
Well, usually it's a lunch. It's like a Chick-fil-A lunch or something like that. And
See, and then you have even more time.
Well, and the stores aren't even close to each other, so we're all over the place. But yes, you know what I'm talking about here. Back to school shopping for K through 12 students, on average, $611 to $890 per family. Depending on what expenses are included, you're a little older, you might need that graphics calculator that we've talked about at length on this program.
The TI, whatever it is these days.
Exactly. When you're younger,
not
you
a
might
TI 82 anymore.
Little scissors and a ruler, and you could probably get by. But it is expensive. New footwear, new clothes, new everything. So I get it. Now's the time. We end up doing this usually a couple of weekends before the school year begins. So if you're looking for me on Saturday, I will likely be at the store buying pencils.
Target has had the folders and the notebooks and everything else out, I think, since June. It was extra early this year, it felt.
You know what is interesting is that Costco does not get involved in this game. I've never really understood why. You go to Costco in early June, you see Halloween decorations. I never see anything at Costco related to back to school. Now, shoes, socks, whatever, you can buy clothes there, all that, and maybe there's some backpacks, something along that line. But your basic back to school items that you'd need to kind of check off your list, you can't find at Costco.
And the shoppers at Costco are like, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because that store is already as busy as it needs to be on a Saturday morning, and we don't need the back-to-school shoppers, too.
That is a very good point. 2:57 here on WTMJ. We are out of time. Wisconsin's afternoon news is around the corner. If you missed our program, any bit of it, or want to listen back to any part of it, check out our podcast page, built by Siding Unlimited. Truly, Siding and a whole lot more. YouTube clips as well. Wisconsin's Midday News on YouTube every day.
Hi, I'm Matt Dorner, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21.